SpongeBob boxers. I gotta clean them first. I gotta inflate my hemorrhoid cushion. Hold on. Oh, that's better. Remember, Arch is a difficult person. If you feel butthurt, try an ice bag. What are you guys doing? I will at some point get those boxes. Nice boxes, by the way, Henry. Oh, Henry, that reminds me, before I forget, I want to go to your channel. I'm going to find it. Now, this is something I mentioned a while back. I don't know if you know about it or give a shit or whatever, but I wanted to show you, because I had mentioned this like a year or so ago when I first met you, and I think I texted in on Ken's. I'm like, when you go to your channel homepage, it says you have no videos. And of course, you know, like, I guess it was a year, maybe it was 2 years ago. I don't know. Hold on, let me get to it. And at the time, I'm like, oh, well, okay. He says he does videos, but it says he has no videos. All right. So I was there recently, and let me go find Henry Big Dog Repair. Is that what it is? Something like that. Henry Murawski, Big Dog Repair or something. Yeah, here it is. No, you don't need to know where I live. Let's see. Here we go. I'm going to bring this up on the other monitor. Here we go. Yeah, see? Let me bring it up on the monitor. Hold on. Standing by. So, I'm going to put a link to Henry's channel, fellas. So right here. So at the home, it says this channel doesn't have any content. And I wanted to point that out. Now, I don't know why that is. It's been so long since I've set up my channel that I don't know. But obviously, if you click on videos, Henry's got tons of content. So it's something, and I remember the first time I went, I'm like, oh, he doesn't have anything. No, he's got tons of cool stuff. But there's something you don't have set up right. I guess maybe you don't care, but the problem is that when we're small channels, people come to us for the first time, because when you're a small channel, that's basically the scenario. And if somebody should happen to come to your home, like, you can't say, go to my homepage and check out my stuff, because if they go to your homepage, they're going to be like, this channel doesn't have any content. And people don't look, you know, like I said something to somebody the other day, I'm like, check out my playlists. They're like, what's that? Playlists? Yeah, that's like an actual thing. So let's see, does he have any playlists? Oh, he's just got, like, 5 days ago, he's got over here under the one. So it's basically under the one thing. Yeah, hold on, let me go back, because you can put other people's stuff too on your playlist. I have a lot. Let me come back to the home page. Now, people watch my stupid lives afterwards. So, if anybody's watching, I'm going to put this in my description. When you go, I'm going to take the link and I'm going to put it in 2 places. So, let me put that there. So whoever's watching, don't freak out when you get to his homepage, because he's got tons of videos. Now, let me just edit. So here's what, there's so much pollen out today. Let me just throw this in the, I got to edit. I'll put this in the description. Let's see. I got to edit my description anyway, so I'll put it towards the top. Here's the link. And hold on, let me copy his title. Because Henry's been busy. Oh, I got that tickle. Hold on, I'm coming. Oh, maybe it's because you're smoking. No, it's not just because I'm smoking. So look at this stuff. Some good stuff. Toro Kohler, Fix Part 1, Tire Bead Cedar. Ooh. Oh, this is the Toro. This is one of my favorites. I love the Toros. Weld Fab. Let's check that one out real quick. We'll just thumb through it. Hello, Mitch. Welcome, Mitch. Modifying to fit small spark. Ooh. Let's just see this review. I wanted to see this. Hold on. If you don't mind, Henry. I just want to kind of cut through that one real quick. This is pretty cool. I'd like to get some of these cool new tools. We're just going to kind of cruise through it because I want you fellas to watch his videos. Oh, we're going to go to Kenssmallengines. Hey, Ken, wherever you are, if you're out there. Oh, eliminated performance. Wade. Yeah. Let's just see. Oh, this is another nice one, fellas. Yeah, Ken turned me on to that. I want to buy that one. That's cool. Hold on. Let me back up a little bit. So check out his video. But this is cool. Yeah, I like that one. There's a few of them that I want to get. I want to get the coil tester where you turn out the electrode to stress the coil. But I want the Echo, which is expensive. Ooh, we get a look inside. Hold on. Let me turn it. Let me turn. I should have desktop audio. Hold on. Give me a minute, fellas. I'm going to give you his desktop audio in a second. I'll turn it on now. Since we're kind of fooling around.
Areas.
Let's see. All right. It's coming up.
We're going to straighten them out first.
I want to see it spark.
And if that doesn't work, we're going to go ahead and we're going to...
I can't turn it up anymore.
Make them longer to accept the shorter plug.
Nice.
So by taking apart
Oh, now it's good.
this spark checker tester, we want to fix it so we can test the short 27 centimeter, the 29 millimeter centimeter, just like we can test the 36 centimeter. But what we're going to have to do is elongate this, only one because one could stay for the longer one.
Yeah.
But elongate this to accept the short spark plug. First I'm going to try is straighten out these ends, and if that doesn't work I'll have to weld longer ends on.
Yeah, solder them up. I'm just going to skim through it. That's pretty cool.
What I did is went into my hose clamp collection.
Oh, nice.
Picked out a hose clamp that fits around these.
Oh, cool.
After I straightened them out.
That was smart.
Then I went ahead and I, instead of the way they were pushed out like this, I bent them in. Just so I know that the short plugs make a connection.
Oh, that's good.
Like the long plugs. So now I'm going to put it back all together and we'll test it. Okay, now we're going to test it, see if what I did.
Ooh, we're going to see sparks.
So first of all, we're going to take,
Nice.
on the right side is going to be the long plugs. Put them in.
I'm surprised they don't do this from the factory.
The next one is going to take either the medium plug or the short plug. So why don't we just put the short one in to see if it works.
Ooh, nice switchblade knife. Okay, see that? With the pearl handle? Whatever. I mean, what do they call that color?
Close
Emerald.
the cover.
Emerald Pearl or something.
We'll plug it up, plug it in. And we'll turn it on.
Crank it up.
Hopefully we see something that's not that dark out here. Okay. Let's see what happens. Turn on the juice.
Oh, I saw something.
The short plug is sparking away.
I can't see anything. I saw something for a second. Oh, there it is. Oh, I can see him now.
Sparking away. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go and shut the light off.
Oh, now we'll see it. I'm sure.
Okay. Let's turn her back on.
I got something to show you guys on the plug firing in a minute.
Nice. Clean burn
Nice.
on both plugs. I don't see it arcing out anywhere on the side.
That's what I want to show you.
Perfect.
I found a new NGK plug screwing up.
Let's try the medium plug.
All right. You guys can watch this. Let me come back. Hold on. But I'm coming back. Go to Henry's Big Dog Repair and check out that cool video and more. And if anybody knows how to fix it, if Henry wants to fix it, let him know. I don't know if he wants to fix it or not, or if I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what's wrong with it. Let me see. Let me see what you guys are doing. So Henry's here. He says hello. Let's see. Robert says, Archie has SpongeBob boxes. Yeah, I'll get him. Hey, Brian, welcome. He says, good night. Does that mean good night you're leaving? You just got here. Francis Lang, good evening, Arch. Archie farted. Yep. Mitch Simpson, what's up, man? Mitch Simpson. Yep. Henry says, thanks, Arch, mate. You got it. I want to show you because that reminded me of a few things. And let me open up that program so I can show you the video I took. Now, I got to find it, so I'm not ready tonight. I'm not ready. I'm never ready because I worked late. And tonight, I worked late. I'll show you. I'll give you a little preview and stuff that I worked on for myself. I was actually working on my snapper rider for me, right? And I remember Ken said something a little while back. I don't remember when I was talking to him. It was probably last month or something. I don't know. Because last year he did something on his snapper rider. I think the muffler fell off or whatever. But more recently we were chatting. And he mentioned that. I said, well, I have my snapper, but I got to replace the bellows. I got to replace the axle bellows. And he goes, yeah, mine screw up too, but I'm still using it. And that was like brewing. And I'm thinking to myself the other day, I'm like, you know what? I'm down on some mowers. The big tractor, it needs, the deck is shot. Like, I need to fix it. Took it off, and I got to work on Big Mike's Sunstar. So I'm not working on my big tractor. I just took everything off of it. I showed you guys. I took the plow off, and I put the forks on, and it's been relegated to hauling heavy stuff around and moving stuff that doesn't want to move so I don't have to kill myself. I'm very happy with that. And I sold off my cool little green rider, which I kind of miss, but, you know. And I got all those other things back there, and they're not really ready yet, like me. And then I was doing the shed, which I gave you guys a little teaser, I think, last week on that. And he does nice shelves and everything. So eventually, I'm going to make a short video on that. I'll get to that later, if I can remember. So I'm kind of going through all this stuff, trying to clean up my crap, my life. And while I was in the shed, I had to take the snapper down because it was up on its butt. I'm like, well, it's got to come out here anyway. We got to put all those snow blowers and everything away. Hey, TJ. Hey, Johnny. And I'm thinking, well, I left it out on the lawn. and it rained, and I'm thinking about Ken's, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just get this thing to run. I could really use a lawnmower or a little rider. I love my Honda, but I'm on my feet all the time. I get tired as much as I enjoy cutting my lawn with the Honda, but it's just more mileage on my feet. And, you know, from when I get tired and everything, I can just go and ride around. And who the hell, I'll just make it run. And because it does kind of run, but it needs a few things. I've driven it, and my daughter has actually been seen on the channel driving it around. But I've never cut with it. Ever. So, because when I got it, it was a mess. So, like, let's make it cut. And maybe, you know, instead of, well, I got to work for everything and work on everything, I'm going to make it work for me for a little while. And I know there's snapper people out there that'll be going, you know, what are you doing, Arch? You ruining the seals and the transmission and the precious everything. Idiot. Look at this idiot. What's the big deal about just pulling all the tires off and the axles apart and all of that? You came this far. Why don't you just do that? Listen, stop, because I got other crap to do, all right? And I just want to drive it and cut. And how much is it going to ruin? I'm not off-roading in sand. It's going to be some cut grass clippings and cuttings. And if it gets too dry, then I'll try not to use it. I'm not going to use it every week, maybe, but I'm going to use it. And some of you guys are going to yell and scream, oh, it's horrible. What are you doing to it? You're lame the cat. That's fine. That's good. That's good. Like I said, if you get butt hurt by something I do, try an ice pack. You know, the guy, he was telling me, I got to really show you. I don't know if I'm going to do it tonight. I have to show you one of my early videos. So I was doing a video on a 1970-something Ford F-150, right? Liz's dad. And we can't find, at the time, it was a mess. Something happened to the column. The column got all worn out. The shifter's all beat. Somebody was in on it. We couldn't get it in first. We couldn't get it in neutral. We couldn't. And I thought, well, I'll just grab a camera and try to sort it out and just show it on camera. And I just started YouTube, and I put it up on YouTube, and it's all over the place. Like it's everywhere. The footage is all over the place, and we're just trying to document it. And we got it going. We figured it out. You know, I had to take the column apart at some point and try to make it work better, but it's still beat. And the parts are ridiculous if you can find them. They're very expensive. Guy says, you're terrible at this. You really should leave this to people that know what they're doing. Thanks, bro. You know, so I get a lot of that. And then I did that blade sharpener video last year, which is actually now doing pretty good. It's that, I forget the name of it. I'll look it up. It's that special blade sharpener. And I did that, and I did a pretty good job. And there's one part at the end where I take the clamp and I turn it 180 degrees. Because I made an adapter and I did all this other stuff, and I'm trying to just show the tool. Because it's the first time I ever saw it. First time I ever worked with it. And I found some issues with it. And I'm showing all the issues. And I'm showing how you can use it in the different ways. And at the end, I'm like, well, you could take this clamp and turn it on 180 degrees and turn it around the other way. Well, some idiot today, right, says, did you at least try flipping it 180? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. That's like towards the end, but obviously you didn't watch that. Last week's live, right, I must have pissed off 2 people because they unsubscribed, right? Which is good, because if you can't, you know what, if I'm too much for you, go find fucking less. So, you know, it's good. Clean house a little bit, organized, throw some stuff out, you know, drag some new stuff out, piss off a few people so they can leave. You can't make everybody happy. You know, why did they leave? Who the hell knows why? It was a pretty, like just run-of-the-mill show. Maida says the P lady is probably something that would like piss a few people off. I'm like, yeah, we'd probably do that. Also, the thing about boobies, I guess that could piss a few people off. Who knows? We were talking about blades, and if that's pissing you off, I don't know what to tell you. I insulted somebody's blade, lawnmower blade. And one of the fellas actually asked, well, which one do you think would be a good blade or whatever, and what's a good blade? I just said to him, you know, Oregon and a few others. But I think the best real answer is that try out a few. I did tell my customer, and I showed him, obviously I showed him all that stuff, and I told him about what you fellas said about the blades. And he's like, oh, cool. I'm like, you're just going to, he's like, I got tons of blades. I'm like, well, just make sure they fit. So I wanted to show you that. Let me see. while I cruise around here. This is TJ and says, where's the arch tumbler? What's a tumbler? Oh, is that what this is called? Is that what it's peeling over here? I tried clearing it, but it's just too thin. And my daughter said she was going to help me try to paste it back, but I'm abandoned. You know, I'm not important enough for that. Dad, I got too many other things to do. Okay, I can't be worried about your peeling sticker. All right, I've got a life, you know. She didn't say that, but I know that's what she's saying. So, yeah, I think they call this a tumbler. I always thought of tumblers as the thing that you put your scotch and water and ice in. No, I thought it was the thing that you shook when you're making, like, a mixed drink. I don't know. What's the thing you put your dice in when you go like this? I don't know. I don't know what things mean. So I need to eat a little something. I'm having a piece of, like, whole wheat bread with just a schmear of butter, then a schmear of peanut butter, and then a schmear of that Nutella stuff. You know, that Rotella stuff. It's Rotella. It's not Nutella. It's Rotella. I mean, it might as well. You know, the nice 1540 that I like. I mean, I probably do eat that stuff anyway, considering I use it all the time. I use it sparingly because, it's, you know, most mowers just take a 10-30 or 30 weight. But when they get a little older, I've been mixing some 50-50 in lately. I don't like putting additives in, but I don't mind mixing two engine oils that are both semi-synth. I mean, you can get away with it. Let's see. Kentucky Fried Fixes. Nice. Welcome. You can't please everybody, and I don't even try. That's right. Because then you're not, well, you know, listen, you could be a neutral. You can come from a neutral position in YouTube. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have the discipline for that. Like, I try to be a little bit more neutral and some of the more contrived, but this is alive. This is when I let what's left of my back hair down, or my top hair. You know, this is a little bit different. And it's after 8:39, my time. Well, we can just keep cruising around. So I made a video coming out. It's like 11 minutes long. It's like a public service announcement. It was something one of my customers did I think I talked a little bit about it. I showed it a little bit last week, but something that one of my customers did to a blade adapter, which is so damn dangerous. Do not do this at home kind of thing. So I think I did show you guys a little bit last week. But I'm trying to make a few of these. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, but I don't know if I'm going to show you. Maybe later. I did show it already. Oh, mosquito. Got him. I got him. Sorry, fellas, if that was loud. Normally, I don't mind being obnoxious, but not unintentionally. And then something else that I think I'll show you. Something a customer came up with because for his generator, that big generator, I need to replace the starter solenoid, but he needs the damn thing. So he kind of gave me an idea and I rigged something up. It's hysterical. But I don't know where everything is, and I'll get to that in a bit. My life is now once again out of hand. Oh yeah, here it comes. I think this is it. I got to wait to see. It'll be a darker video, I guess. Yeah, here. I think this is it. All right, yeah. Let me roll this over here. Hey, Boneyard! So let me roll this over here. Switch to right monitor. And we're going to have to find it together because I'm not exactly sure which one it is. Let me see. Volume is on. Let's try this one. All right, hopefully you can see it. Yeah, this is it. See how it's walking? See what it's doing? Now, it was worse in another shot, but I don't know if I got that shot. Now, this is the plug that was in there, the stock one. It's both NGK. See how I'm too damn close. I'll back away a little bit. Remember, it's unedited. So that's the dirty NGK that was in there. And Let's see if we can kind of go back. It really was walking to the back. It wouldn't fire the engine.
See how it's walking?
See? Now, let me see what else is on this. Remember, it's unedited. I checked compression. Okay, so here, this is the one that I came out with, the Turf Master, the Toilet Master. I think this is just a shot. So you could see here, this is the one where the guy tucked the coil wire into the fins right next to the muffler. Let me see if I say that here, if I get a better shot. I don't know, because...
All right, so I remember on the episode that I did where I went over this entire machine, what had happened was the last person that worked on it had taken the coil wire and tucked it in to the fins right next to the muffler. And that burned some of the insulation. So that could be one of our problems. I taped it, and then I put some heat shrink. I think I'm going to put another layer of heat shrink on it. Maybe one more quick layer of tape, and then one more piece of heat shrink on it, and then put everything back. Because that could be a problem too. And the way it wants to lay, there's really nothing that holds it well. It does want to go over this way, but that guy had literally tucked it in.
Yeah,
here,
like with a screwdriver.
And that's fried it. So you would never do anything like that. Let me go and tape it, and we'll put another heat shrink on it.
Yeah, I'm coming back. So I told the customer, I showed him. He's my contractor, Mike. And he knew about it originally. So he brought it back because it wasn't running. And when I took the air cleaner off, remember this has got an air cleaner and it comes down at a right angle. We were hanging out one night. It was like, I don't know, Sunday night or whatever. I was like, just bring it over. You know, that extra bit of service. And I took it off and I'm like, let's see if we could just start it. Show me what it's not doing or is doing. And we looked down in there and it was liquid. So it wouldn't start. It wouldn't pull over. And I tried a little bit of ether and it didn't start. So he said, what do you think that is? I said, well, there's liquid down there. He told me that it felt like it locked up. He said the word locked up. I said, so when you pulled it, what happened? He said it wouldn't turn over. It wouldn't spin over. And I saw the liquid. So it hydrolocked. Why? Well, you have to speculate here. But if the plug wasn't firing and he had the choke on, it's a pretty good choke. It could have sucked in that much liquid, that much fuel and laid there. And that I rebuilt the carburetor and everything, and all those gaskets are good, so there's no way for it to trip out. Right? That gasket, that seal is good. I put it there. Well, that could explain that if it wasn't firing. The other thing that could explain it too is that he's kind of lazy and he doesn't like to lock his machines down on his trailer. And he's had some little minor incursions and accidents from this. Well, it could have jostled around and it could have knocked the seat off a little bit, the needle off the seat long enough to puke gas in there and locked it up. And so I cleared all of that, took the plug out, pulled it over, put the new NGK plug in, it wouldn't fire. I'm like, okay, I did this outside on a separate day, and I'm like, all right, enough with this. Okay, it's got to go in the shop. I'm not doing it now. I'm going to put this to the side. She's not behaving. It's probably the coil or I don't know. So I brought it back up on the bench to test everything up in my face. And that's what I found. So I cleaned his plug and put it back. I thought, well, I got a new NGK plug. We'll put a new plug in. Not so much. Why would it be firing to the back? And it didn't like it. And initially, it looked like the spark was very low. I'm like, maybe the coil's dying. That's why I want that echo tester. The nice echo. The one where you pull out the electrode and increase the gap and to try to stress the coil. Because it's not enough just to measure the coil for ohms. You could do that too, but you can check it against the number or the manufacturer. You can go to the manufacturer's website and they'll give you a range of what the impedance should be. Okay. But in this situation, a stress tester would be better. But I want the Echo one. And I think the last I looked, that was like $80. But it's nice. It's like it's made well. So I don't have the money for that. So I told him, I said, I fixed it all up. I put more heat shrink in, and I think I put another layer of electrical tape on it and more heat shrink. Cleaned his plug, put it back, checked over the carburetor. I used it for a few hours here, cutting the lawn and everything, held it back for another day. Starting, letting it run, cutting the lawn, getting it get hot, shutting it off, moving furniture, taking a break, each section, all 3 sections, cut everything, lather, rinse, repeat, and it was fine. Give it back to him. He says it's been fine. So I prized him of what I thought it might be and what I found. I said, if you want, what I would do is I would go get yourself another coil. I said, don't buy an aftermarket coil. I don't trust those damn things. His ignition timing is built into those coils, the factory coils. Just get one of them, as Taro says, kind of sucky motors, right? Just go get the original equipment coil. Spend a little bit extra money. Keep it around. I don't know if he knows how to install it. And I kind of talked with him a little about it. I said, just keep it around so that you have it. And then if we see a problem again, bring it back and I'll fit you in right away and give you the coil and I'll throw it in. Meantime, he's having some other issues with some of the other machines, and it's the beginning of the year. And the bottom line is, fellas, for the contractors, you just make it work however you can this time of year. Worry about it later. Whatever you got to do. Just get the work done, especially at the very beginning of the season, where a lot of this stuff was starting to happen. You can't argue with the fellas when they're in that position. Just do what you can for them. Well, he knows it. He's happy with that. So I'm working on another one of his machines, and I wanted to show you a little bit about that. But I like the Toilet Master. It's a tough machine. That's the one I said cuts like shit. So he's going to work on that. Let me see if I can find the other video that I want to show you. But they're built well. It's just somebody's got the wrong, set of blades in there. This is Brian says, top of the evening to gents. He says, I got you, man. Finally adjusted deck height and blades on my old snapper, and holy cow, what a difference. Cut my whole yard with it. Yeah, when you iron it out, there goes another one flying around. Something's around here. And sometimes it's, the better companies, obviously make better blades and stuff, but, there's nothing wrong with trying out. Like if you're not sure and you want to try out a different blade design and you can find it in the aftermarket, as long as this damn thing comes and it's actually made out of metal and it's not warped. So Kentucky says, yeah, you can't please everybody. TJ says, yep, that's it. Boneyard says small, says high all, fast reflex. Robert Mel says, welcome to Liz's Window Repair Shop. Yeah, I know. You guys are really ribbing me on that one. I'm like, it's not Liz's repair shop. It's mine. So, yeah, that video was difficult to do. Oh, my God, fellas. There must have been a few hundred edits to make that stupid video. I shot it with mainly 2 cameras, but I did use the little guy. So, that little cell phone thing in a couple of shots. And there was so many edits in it, and it just takes forever. And it was made over 2 separate days. One week, and then she came back and interrupted my life for a second week, which I indirectly blame her for the hack to my Facebook account, because I kept seeing, you got to enable 2-factor authentication. And I'm like, I got to get to this. And then she shows up. And I gave her a hard time for that. And still, I'm not done giving her a hard time for that, because she doesn't plan anything with me. And I'm sick of it. So she's not allowed here until, that gets cleared up, which I don't think it will, because, I don't know, women are messed up. But I'm going to have to step on her face for it, because she doesn't plan anything. I'm like, why should I have to stop? If you're shit testing me, guess what? I just shit tested you. I'm not going to just stop what I'm doing. But, we get along okay and everything, and she's pretty smart, and I think she did a great job working with her car and working with me, and it was fun to some degree, but it's a lot to edit a video like that, because there's so many segments. And then with one camera, what I was doing was just let it run as long as I could to capture the in-between of what we were doing, and then you're trying to figure it out, so you can't account for time like that. You're trying to figure it out, and that's going to waste time, which is video time. which means you got to cut it out. You got to keep looking at it. And it was still too long because it's hard to do a diagnostic like that. And I'm like, oh my God, this thing is just too damn long. What's with all of these damn videos? Like, what else do I cut out? I think there was a part in there, Johnny, at the end where I started talking about that guy, Ivan, that you mentioned. And I'm like, that was a good story, but I had to cut it out because it's already too long. Everything was too long. Ivan. He goes, Unhinged Harry's here. He goes, it's usually from your saved passwords hacking, that is. Yeah, usually, yeah. It actually, the hack was, like you said, it comes in through, and all the browsers where you click save the password and it creates a token. They just brute force. They steal your token. They get in enough to steal your tokens, and then they take your token out. And if you don't log out periodically or change your passwords periodically, they'll brute force the token. And I was watching how it was done. And if your password is something like 6 characters around there, they can do it in anywhere between 5 and 15 minutes. Sometimes less. You need at least 12 to 16 characters, particularly no words, and you should have specialized characters in there. And there shouldn't be any words that can be searched on any kind of a database. And AI is helping them now. So you see anybody that's seen a little bit about what the AI can do today. Yeah. So it's pretty damn brutal. Yep. Unhinged says, yep. We'll just call him Harry. What's up, Harry? Yeah. So I had to study all of this stuff because I'm into computers, but I haven't been into it for, 10 years or whatever, because I've been busy with life and stuff. And, oh my God, crap. And I had one password that was way too light. And I think that's how they got through. I think it was from back in the day when a lot of that stuff was different. And I've been busy with life. So I've been studying on it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is bad. I had to go through everything. I mean, again and again. And the thing is, the Trojan, they managed to slip a Trojan, and it was in my, it might have been in the bootloader, but I know it was in the cache file for the swap file for Windows. It was up in that area. So I had to wipe all that, get rid of it, dig it out, and I do have another operating system. It is essentially this is a clone of that operating system, the one I'm on now. This one's been updated and programs are on it. The other one was put on a Samsung Evo drive a couple of years ago, and I need to turn it on and update it. It's just been off. I put the OS on, did a little bit of updates, really didn't put any programs on, and I left that as a safety. So I really should have gone to that, but the problem is it has no functionality. There's nothing on it. So I don't think I'll ever get my Facebook account back because Facebook gets in the way. As soon as you start to move on it and try to do the things that you need to do, it does two things, because they can't completely remove me, but they attach their email address to my account. So as soon as I start to move on it, Facebook gets in the way, makes you wait, and doesn't complete certain tasks like sending you a reset key on your phone, on your 2-factor authentication. It just can't do it quick enough. They get notified and they make a change because they're active. The account is active for them. So I will continue to piss them off and continue to periodically. There's other ways to move on. I was successful for a moment to be able to do it, but I wasn't fully understanding what was going on. I wound up resetting and learning a lot more about the security on my router and changing all of that and everything else. So I had to take a bath and spend, up to 5 o'clock in the morning for a few weeks on and off, learning on this stuff and studying and then figuring out how to get rid of it. And I still feel like, it's not that you feel violated. It's like you're like, oh my God, all the potential security areas, these holes. So most important was that I locked down this system, and I wanted to make sure that I could lock down the YouTube account. And in fact, I want to change that password again, again and again, just to keep things rolling until I sort of get stable and have better practices and a little bit better training, and a little bit better understanding. But what a nightmare, And I use Marketplace. That's how I sell a lot of my stuff. Now I can't use it. I can't get on it. And when I was dealing with the hack, I went to sell a Honda and they banned me. For whatever reason, probably because something wasn't right, they banned me. So if I open up a second, and this has happened to me before, because I used the word serviced, and Marketplace banned me, and I've told the story before. So I had started another Facebook account, and because it's in your name and they see your IP address, as soon as you go to Marketplace, even just to see something, if you're banned, they'll ban you. And there's no way out of this terror loop. I mean, I've read these forums on Facebook's Marketplace's forums and stuff. I've read where people that have the business account call their business associate for Marketplace and they can't help them. And the only help they lost tens of thousands of dollars because they're, these online kind of companies that e-commerce, which they can't participate in. And they wind up having to write their senators and their state attorney's office and wait. And eventually it gets resolved if you try that, but you're going to be waiting a long time. So if you can't figure out how to protect yourself, it's like owning a motorcycle and being a motorcycle rider, right? There's two types. There's the person that has fallen and the person that's about to fall, right? It's either you're going to be hacked, have been hacked, or you're going to be hacked or have been hacked. It's a cycle. Either your credit card is going to be hacked or it's not, or it has been hacked and it's going to be hacked again. This is just bad, Yeah, what do you say? He said, change it to password number 2. Yeah. That's what people do, right? They're like password 1, So while that's going on, I'm trying to deal with this nonsense with the state and my insurance. Then I get a phone call today from my mortgage company. And we listen to it. We, call up and we hear the phone prompts and everything. Well, because of the state of affairs in our economy, the homeowners insurance went up significantly and the taxes went up, which means it sucked out the escrow. So now we have to come up with another $600 and change a month. This is how people are losing their homes. Now, I've been following this for a while and they do occasionally talk about it. Because with the changes in people's incomes in the economy, they're already on the edge. And then if you add that in, it doesn't take much to put somebody right out. And I mean, we can either do that or pay like $6,000 or whatever it is to fill the escrow back up because they just paid the fire insurance and other things. And they just paid the taxes and the local taxes here in the village. And it exhausted the account. People that are on fixed incomes, right? They're like, oh, I'm retired. I can handle this number. Not anymore, you can't. You're done. So this is the state of affairs. And trying to deal with my health insurance, which, they basically shut me down on that. So I've just been busy. I'm like, all right, yeah, well, whatever, bring it on. It's just very time consuming because I have to split my brain like a split brain patient and focus on this stuff. And then I got to take a break and then I got to focus on the other thing. And then last week, it was a couple of days ago, because I've been looking at my computer and doing stuff and it's old. Like some of the parts of the computer are old. And I showed it. Some of it, I think it was last week or the week before. So, and I mentioned that I started using the other camera, the one up there. By the way, this is the lens that you didn't see last week. And this is not really a good lens, but it's decent. So this is for the better camera, but I use them on either camera. Like right now, it's on the cheaper one. So I'm like, I'll start using the better camera more. Well, the problem with the better camera, which basically looks like this, but the guts, are like so much better. I mean, it takes better footage and everything, but the way I have it set up is the size of the files are twice the size. So I'm like, and I've been squirreling footage all over the place. I have something like 7 hard drives for different reasons. Well, now I'm out of room. Right? There's no more of that behavior I can do. Okay, that's it. And I've been doing videos like once a week, but I've been busy and I've been recording a lot. And some of this footage, I think the Liz's truck, the general raw footage was something north of 125 gigabytes. Just in that one folder of footage that I acquired. Then when you start working with it, and maybe you render off a section, and then I rendered off another section, and then I rendered off another section, because sometimes it's just easier to work with these things in sections. Well, it goes to like 200 gigabytes. It just adds up. So now I have like no room. And I was thinking the other night, I'm like, well, this is a problem because you're still recording. Where are you going to put the new recordings? So I'm looking at hard drives, and of course I want something decent. So I bought two 10 terabyte Western Digital NAS drives, 720 RPM platter speed, 250 megabit cache or something. These are nice drives. These are expensive drives. But the lowest price I have seen in a long time, $200 each, right, for these drives. They're fast for a drive like that, but they're RAID drives, basically. They're, network attached storage drives. They're basically RAID drives. Well, this operating system is actually set up for RAID, so I don't have to load any drivers or anything. I just have to take the computer apart again, take the drives out that are getting full, disconnect the operating system and all the other drives, put these drives in, screw them in. I got to clean the computer because it's a mess. Stick the drives in, boot into the motherboard BIOS, and carefully create a mirror without everything connected, just those two, and then put the OS back and check to see that I did it right without screwing something up. And then I have I have almost 8 terabytes to transfer. It may be a little more, a good 6 or 7 terabytes. Good. Just to, we'll see how much I put on those drives. That's going to take, doing it at night when I go to bed, that could take a couple of nights. I don't know. I haven't calculated. I want to organize it now, but now I'll be able to organize this stuff. This is a lot. And there's footage from last season, quite a lot that I never published. I just either never got around to it, or I didn't make videos out of it, or whatever. And there's even stuff from the year before, which is somewhere. I guess that's 2021. There might even be some stuff from 2020 when I first started. Yeah. It's like it's either that or you just lose it, right? And if I've had hard drive crashes recently, like last year or a year before or whatever, and it's brutal. There's Rob. Oh, hey, RW. No, I don't do external hard drives. It sounds like you need updated USB and external. I don't do external hard drives. No, you don't want that. That's for later. That's the stuff you use as a backup. I need something where I can actually use it where it's live. Right? USB, and you need USB-C really, but you don't have to. I mean, I have the toaster, right? The drive toaster. It's USB 2.0, whatever it is, or 3.0, whatever the hell it is, the blue one. 3.0. Yeah. Yes, but I'm not ready to do that yet. First, you need archival footage that you can access somehow, because I access it, right? It's not archived, really. Because some of the stuff has never been worked on, and I don't want it archived. Some of the stuff that has been worked on, I usually take pieces from it, and I want to be able to have access to it, and I don't want to have to go into someplace, take out a drive out of a cabinet, plug it in, see if this is the drive, is it on there, and if it's slow, I'll have to deal with that and mount the drive and do all of that. I don't want to do that. I'm not at that point. What I would do is, if I had more hard drives, I would take some of the much older ones that I probably won't access that are archives. But I'm not at that point. In order to do that, I need even more hard drives, because we're talking about huge, huge volumes of unedited. These are unedited, mostly. So I need to work on them. They need to be active. I need to be able to get at them. And I think the easiest way for me to do that is to run a mirror and put everything all on the mirror for the most part, with the exception of the stuff that I'm currently working on. That way I can get to it, access it, work with it, move it, do what I need to do with it, figure out what I want to do. It's always going to be there for me. And every day, I do something and I take the 2 cameras or 1 camera and I plug it in and I offload it, and it's going to be offloaded to the mirror. That way, at least if it can't protect me from corrupted data, but it can protect me from a drive failure, which happens. It usually happens in like after a hot August in September. So yeah, I'll get to that. Let's see. Robert says, I'm still waiting on Sears Parts Direct for my complete new mower pan. I heard that today. Thinking about putting the clear coat on the GT tractor mower pan. Not a bad idea. It's nice to protect it. Robert says, wow, I use 5 terabyte USB external drive with a shortcut for video editing in 4K, and it works just fine. Yeah, you can use that. Are you on USB? What'd you say? Which USB? Is it C or is it 3.0? Robert says, that's what hubs are for. And in 2 to 3 years, you'll be in the same situation. You're always going to be in this situation. I'm so far behind, Rob. Yeah, 5 terabyte wouldn't hold all the stuff that I have. And I can't work off of USB 3. Right? It's not fast enough. Right? When I work a video, like that big video that I did for Liz's van, that's on an NVMe drive that's operating at something like 3 to 5 gigatransfers per second. I forget what it is. Usually it's huge. Like a SATA drive is like 150 to 200. Sometimes maybe you'll get 300 megabytes a second out of it on the right bus. That's a SATA drive, like a regular digital SATA drive. You might get out of a spinner, an average platter drive, maybe 150 megabits. What I edit on, I usually work off of 2 NVMe drives, and they're on the PCI bus. So I need that speed because I'm moving all these files back and forth with all those edits and everything. It would be a nightmare to work off of a USB 3.0. And this motherboard never came with a USB-C. And the only USB-C that I have currently that I can access is a USB-C adapter card that I was showing last week. And that's connected to this guy, right? The ATEM, which handles the microphone and the video cameras. And I also use that to record in the shop. I connect my cameras to it, which then connects to a SATA drive. It connects to, one of those, what do you call those things? Well, I can't think right now. For some reason or another, I'm getting tired. I use the Samsung 850 EVOs. I think they're like 500 megabytes. And that's typically what I record to. You could actually stick them on the back of the camera if you wanted to. They're nice. They work good, solid state. They're fast enough to record to, but they're SATA drives. So it's nothing like a PCI or shoving in an M.2 slot. My motherboard doesn't have M.2 slots. It's an older motherboard. So that's really the way if you want to edit video and you really want to have it fast and access to the files and moving them around. And we can't really work off of a USB for big files. It can't handle it. This is, Bravo says, yeah, see, you're working 2.0. That's super slow, bro. The USB 3 and the 3.1 are fairly decent speed for moving around certain files. But the USB-C is just it's like, depending upon which USB-C it is, because there are actually 2 versions of it now, it's pretty damn close to being like in an NVMe territory. So that is we're moving towards, but it takes up a lot of bandwidth on a motherboard or the device. My PCIe M.2 NVMe's, they take up 4 lanes per drive. So depending on how many channels you have on your PCI slots and how many lanes you have on your processor, it depends upon the motherboard and what processor you're using. Your video card should have 16 lanes. And then a lot of processors might have another 16 and then maybe 8 and 4. And then if you add M.2s in, then there goes a lot of your PCI lanes. And then you have all your USBs and everything. So the USB-Cs are kind of like priority for those takes precedence over almost everything else. And that tends to be why you only see one on a motherboard today. Or like my laptop. I think it's got one. Right? And I think my daughter's little device, like this only has one. You're only going to get one, right? Because it uses a tremendous amount of bandwidth because it's really fast. And it's awesome. So they're migrating towards that. It would be great if everything was connected that way, right? Then I would be all for it. Yeah, I know, right? Rob says, that's it. YouTube pooped itself here, Harry says. What do you mean? What happened? Wait, hold on. Crispa here. It dealt with upgrading my movie collection. Yep. Let me back up. Crispa says, I just spent a truckload of time taking out and putting back in the transmission on an old John Deere SRX 75 Rider. Pain in the ass. They're all are a pain in the ass. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But is it working well now? There's your money shot. Like if you got it all settled in and score it out, you won't have to do it again for a long time. Once you've got it right, you'll be good to go. So the pain will fade. Fred says, Dilly. Robert Walker says, RW. We'll go right because RM is here, right? RM is here. So that's Mailhouse. RW is here. So that's RW. Walker. Your motherboard and processor is what's holding you back at this point. Yeah, kind of. A little bit. Not so much when I'm working with the video, but more when I go to render. But I can't completely blame the processor. I mean, keep in mind this is an Ivy Bridge. This processor was $500 when I bought it 10 years ago. It came from the server side, and it's a black edition. So it's essentially 6 cores that hyper-threads out to 12 cores, and it's got a ton of PCI lanes, but it is DDR3, and it's 64 gigs of DDR3. It's a big motherboard. It's actually on a P9 X79 workstation motherboard. That motherboard, I bought that used. That motherboard would have been a lot of money. I can't afford to buy workstation stuff today. I've been looking into it in different variations, and I was up late last night looking at another variation of an AMD processor that's for like workstations and stuff. They're really expensive. The thing that I don't like about the gaming motherboards, I have had all of the top end gaming motherboards, both AMD and Intel, and they all burn out. In fact, the motherboard that this processor and RAM was in was an Asus Black ROG, whatever, super black. They burn out. They're garbage. And these days, Asus's return policy is non-existent. Like, if you buy a new motherboard, good luck. If something goes wrong with it, which it probably will, good luck getting it back. Good luck getting it sent in. Good luck with the RMA process. So, and I love Asus products. But when it comes to their high-end motherboards that you're paying a fortune for, they're going to leave you dry. Now, there's other manufacturers, of course. But it's expensive. It starts to get expensive. So I want to get through some of the peripherals. I want a new router. So I want something new that deals with the new security protocols and more expandability. And that I have one on the list. And then I'll take the router that's out there and I'll connect it to the new router, and I'll put the old one out here to give me the additional connectivity that I don't have out here, both wireless and wired. Best world would be is just buy a brand new router that does all of that, but that's a lot of money. This is the problem with being like a YouTuber and being into technology. If you keep going and you want to level up, like, okay, let's use the better camera, right? Oh, great, use a better camera. Well, then you're going to be out of storage space real fast. So you have a choice. You can spend the money and buy more storage space, however you decide you want to connect it, but you're going to be buying more storage space, or stop making videos. That's it. You don't get any other choice. You could stop making videos and just be done with it. I'm not spending the money. I don't have it. I'll work with what I have. But then I've got all these really cool machines that I want to take the footage because I got some cool stuff going on here. I don't want to not do it. TJ goes, no grease. There's so many times recently where I just want to say that. I'm like, some of the fellas, the new fellas, are not going to understand what the hell I'm saying. They're just not going to get it. No grease. Yeah, I was just doing something today. I was working on the snapper, right? The snapper rider, and I'm down there working, and I'm going. The thing was stuck, and I'm thinking, somebody out there, I kind of headed it off. I'm like, somebody out there is going to go on and on and on about me putting grease and oil in there. I think you should play that. I think I can find it. Oh, Harry's got to go spray some weeds. What the hell time is it over there, Harry? Where are you? It's like, dark 10 o'clock now. Where are you? I hope you didn't leave yet. Yeah, I know. Compared to the newest i9, yeah, I don't want the i9. It's got issues, and it's not all that great. People don't really use it for video editing. You try to stay away from it if you can. You're better off with more, but it just still doesn't have enough. Although the i9 has one nice advantage. I think the i7 might have it too. Even the i5. But the i9 does have... This is something you need to look deep into because you can't just go by spec. Besides, RW's an Intel guy. His wife works for Intel. You can't listen to him. He's tainted. He's damaged goods now at this point. There is one advantage is that the onboard graphics on some of those are actually useful in DaVinci because you can use it to decode and encode certain aspects of the videos. Not to render because it has no horsepower. It just you attach it to DaVinci as part of encoding and decoding, which leads me to the other thing another reason why I cannot afford to buy anything right now is I need to buy DaVinci because to do that you have to own it. It's not a lease. It's not any of those crazy like Adobe right now is really being very selfish with their plans. It's like their plans for world domination. You got to pay every month, and now they claiming that they have a certain amount of access to your content. It's something to look into. But I was listening to Twitch today, and they were going over the latest press releases on that. So your subscription to Adobe, a lot of people are very pissed off at Adobe right now. Well, I have decided to not go down that route, but I need to buy DaVinci to take advantage of those kinds of features. It's only like $300, and you own it. And you own the it's like the base version that pretty much everybody owns. You don't need to own anything more than that unless you're a professional videographer and you're out there making videos and your profession is to edit videos for Hollywood and shit. So the other thing too is if you have the free version, which is very nice, it caps your GPU utilization. So I'm only using about 15% of my video card whenever I'm working in DaVinci, particularly when I go to render. So when I render out the entire project, it pretty much dumps everything onto the CPU, and the CPU pins out at 100% all the cores, and the GPU just sits there and it'd be like, oh yeah, just kind of cruising along, no big deal. Even though it has the processing power to do it, until you own it, you don't get the pleasure of that. So those things have to come first. Hey, Lewis. He's got to go spray some weeds. That's what torrents are for. Level. I don't do torrents. Torrents are for viruses. Yeah. Lewis is, hello, Brother Roger. Hello, everybody. I'll never forget when, years ago, I think this was when, around the time I first met Liz, her boyfriend, I think at the time, or maybe they were just passing, they were young. We were all young. And he comes over one day, and Rob W. just got me into fairly recently into computers and everything, but I was getting real good at it. And so I had one of the computers here, and I think I even used to use two computers, or maybe after that. Anyway, he comes over and he's like, remember Kazaa and LimeWire, fellas, right? So he comes over and he's like, you got to hear this new song. And it was that, I can't remember the name of the group. It was this one dude. He played like all the instruments and he different disguises on the video, and he's singing something like "Hey ya," right? So the idiot goes to Kazaa and starts playing this tune. I'm like, oh, that sounds all right. Well, wouldn't you know? The next day, I started having problems with my computer, and then later on that day, it got worse. Now, I'm using it for work mostly. And by the next day, it was just blue screening and everything was haywire. So it got so bad that it corrupted the operating system. So I reloaded the operating system like 5 times. Each time, it lasted. I was able to run Windows for less and less time till finally the last time I did it, it wouldn't load. And then I realized the effing virus, whatever it was, went into the motherboard BIOS. So I reflashed the BIOS, loaded Windows, and didn't have any problems after that. That's how bad something, even back in the day. This must have been, oh God, I want to say like 15 to almost 20 years ago, something like that. You know? I mean, this stuff is so wrong. And that's just maliciousware. It's malware. All it's there really for is to ruin your shit. You know? Kazaa, yeah, Kazaa was good though. And that's what virtual machines, yeah. Well, I actually was running virtual machines for a while. But then I started to run out of space. There you go, right? Because I've run quite a number of virtual machines and servers. And you're back to the same problem again, drive space. And virtual machines take up a lot of room. Even though they're compressed, they still are operating systems. If you put any functionality of files on it or associate it to any files, whatever, they take up a lot of room. And then you have to back up the virtual machine, which takes up an F-load, a lot of room. So you're back to, well, that's what this is for. That's what that, yeah, if you got a lot of money and a lot of time, yeah, go right ahead. But that's not the case for most of us. So I couldn't run virtual machines anymore because I didn't have the room for it. And you can't just keep going out buying hard drives with money that you don't have. And then you wind up with a stack of this stuff, and then, well, that's what a NAS is for. Yeah, of course, but then that's expensive. That's another computer with a shit ton of hard drives. It's like $1,000. So it's not a matter of just do that or just do this. It's really a pain in the ass. And you have to know how to connect it. Right, and use it. So Lewis's brother Henry, yo, he says, you tested in the sandbox. And again, if you have a sandbox to play in and you can afford it. So it always comes back to the same thing. And you know what? The average computer, people that are using computers on a laptop, whatever, how are they going to set that up? You're gonna run an OS off of a USB 2.0? Good luck booting that. I'll see you next week when it's booted. Yeah, you'll do anything of any real value. So that's been real fun. Let's move on to the next thing. Hold on. I want to show you this. Let me find it. I gotta pee soon. I gotta go back to the pee lady. What time is it? Where am I? No, it's not bad. We're an hour and a half in. Let's see if I can find it. So I made this. Oh, where is it? So after I get the drives in, I organize stuff, it'll be a little bit easier on me. So I made this. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, this will show it. Let me shove this over here. See if you guys know what it is. Oops, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. Sorry. Let's see, it's a good shot. This might be a good shot. Yeah, that looks good. That's on that, so that's going to give it some more support, and I completed the weld on this main lift rod. See, the thing is, this is your real weak spot right here. But that's all done. I'm just going to wipe it down or bring it outside. Hold on, I'll back it up a little bit. That's all new. All right, I had to make that from scratch. He broke it. It's a lift rod, right, for the Cub Cadet, because somebody put a modified. I'll show you here. Let's see. Somebody decided they got the bright idea of hanging a nice bag, metal bag, on the end of the deck, and it broke it. It's too much for it.
All right, just a quick view. So here, like I said, if there was a bushing in here, a steel piece with a bronze inside, and it was welded to this, and it didn't really stick out, you got at least a ½ inch over here to work with. That's fine. It would be great. So I like to use the washers, and there's still a little bit of space, but that's good. That's okay. You want some over here as well. In all of the areas where I added in washers to whatever I thought was
It's very
needed.
lightweight.
All right. The bushing's in, the spaces are in, everything is good to go. So this is just beefed up a little bit. We didn't replace it, but it's stronger than it was. And you can still get to this pin here and cut it out if you need to.
Right.
Or you could replace the whole damn thing. But I thought that would be fine for now. And of course, this is the side where all that stress is.
See? Some guy made a crazy cage setup for a nice, I gotta say, it's a nice, contractor style aluminum bag. There might be a shot in here somewhere of it. Again, because it's all mixed in together. I think there was some welding shots too, but.
Now you can see why I spent a little extra time cleaning this, making it nice. Now I flipped it the other way. Usually I have the edges up because it captures the rollies, the hot rollies, but it's flatter this way. And so I just did my layout. So you got a center line here. I used the T-square, pull a square line to the edge just for clean. That's your datum line. And then a mark there on the center of this shaft. I drew the line up.
That's the broken one.
Get it all nice and flat and square. I know it's a little shiny, but and then just kind of while I still have it, right? We got an arrow there. That's your center. Another arrow here. That's your other center. 20 3/4. Try to keep it there. That's from
all right, that's good.
From.
That's good enough. And I think this is a shot. Yeah, this is the wire frame.
Here's what we're working with.
Oh yeah, it's broken here.
See? I don't know what this was, but we'll get a closer look at that.
Yeah, I don't know what
later.
attempt that was.
I'll show you what I'm going to use, but what I'm going to do is now that it's lifted up, I want to strap this deck up, and let's remove this whole piece. That way
it was just
I can
easier.
clean it up, get up on.
That was just easy to take it all apart. I don't know if I have a shot of his bag because it's like I said, it's not all in folders. This is just my main data dump. Did I have that? Yeah, this might be the bag. Is that it? Hang it in there. Yeah, that's it. It's too heavy for that machine, especially with grass in it. That's wet. It's all aluminum. Those are nice bags, catchers. Nice custom catchers, but it's way too much. Let's see here. Ooh, we're down here working, fellas. Down here working. Oh, she's getting there.
All right, before we put it down, let's see if I can just put a hole to tie up this wire. They changed it later on. They put a big hole here, and the cable comes through because it's actually rubbing up against 2 other cables.
Yeah.
So it's a stupid place. We'll have to address that later, but if I can just bang a hole in here somehow, do I have a...
Oh, yeah. It's nice and clean now. See, I got to put the boots on.
Good.
The bellows.
Just shoved it all the way over to this side.
Let's do a quick look.
That's
nice
not bad, fellas.
Let's see, do I rack it?
Yeah, that tube's still leaking. And we're going to have to take it apart.
One of the tires is shot. But I got the blade on. I had to balance the blade. It was a mess, but it was a little out.
All right, we got these on.
That's
this
done.
on. These are the...
What else did I do today? Got a whole bunch of stuff done. Let's see. Oh, is this the setup for it? I think this is some of the setup. Ooh, getting ready to weld. There we go. Nice. Nice fresh lift bar on there. Let's see. Yeah, you can come around this way now. Plenty of metal on that. Yeah, that's cool. So he'll be happy. He'll get that. So here's, oh yeah, the quick look inside. I don't know if Rob saw this, but there's an NVMe in my hand right there, right? So they go into the PCI buses.
I put a touch of this is.
So I had to reseat the heatsink on there. But everything seems to be working pretty good. I have to find a spot. I got to take out the drives, the hard drives. I don't know if I show that. Yeah, they're like somewhere around here. They're buried in there somewhere. Oh. I don't think I got a good shot of that. I might have gotten the other camera. Let me see. Oh, check this thing out. This thing's a brute. This is coming up soon. It really is like next.
The right. Is it right?
Oh.
All right, fellas. The right. Introducing the right. Is it right? How right is it? Well, it's kind of acting a little bit wrong right now.
Yeah, she's
we'll
sick.
run it in a little bit.
Needs a little help.
Bag o' parts, fellas. Bag o' parts. Look. See, there's this schmutz down here. Something's leaking.
Yeah, it's puking.
Puking out or something. Something ain't right. It's not right. The right is not right. We got to make it right. It needs... Oh, boy. Look at those builds.
Yeah, they're shot.
You think they're a little bit tired. And the pulleys are bent. So it's probably chewing on the belts.
I think I can clean the pulleys up.
So this is here before. So it's back. Well, we got gaffer's tape or something over here. I wonder what that's for.
I know what it's for.
Always useful. Got a little trailer hitch down there.
Yeah, that's nice.
Kind of nice.
It's your little silky hitch. Hold on. Is there more right? I think there is more right. I think I started it. Did I start it here?
All right.
All right. Let's play with the
safety
right.
check complete. Vague safety check complete.
Yes, very vague.
Let's screw that back down. I smell gas and grass. Like big time. She smells a little bit though.
Yeah, she's a
She has
stinker.
this weird smell. It's like a combination of it rich, you'll hear it, it's running a little rough, and burning belts. Old burning belts.
Yeah, and grass and gas and a touch of oil. Yeah. There we go.
And it, look, I don't know.
It's number
He doesn't know when the
36.
last time this thing was ever.
So, I don't think it's ever been serviced. It's number 36, right? So, I don't know where you got it from. So, does that mean that there are 35 more of those damn things? Or more than 36? And that would be kind of cool to be on the team that takes care of something like that. Right, because you'd need a team. If you had more than 36 of those damn things, yeah. All right, Kentucky goes, the right is acting a little bit wrong. I know, I just kept rolling with that. Right? I just couldn't help myself. Let's see, Sup, Brother Brock, my bad, Sup. Wait, Suts don't compute. Hold on, let me get back up. Let me come up. Hi, Lou, is that a rider or a walk behind? Which one? No, both of those yellow ones, they're walk behinds. So the right, as you may know, is the originator, I believe. I think I didn't know that. It's like the first one that ever came out. Let's see, Bravo says I put some counterweights on the front arch. Right? Sus, I don't compute. Sus? What's sus mean? I do not compute. The red image gives me flashbacks to last fall. Yeah. My bad. Sup. Sup, Brother Rock? Sorry, can't find my charger. You hereby have the right to mow after hours. Yes, that's great. The right is acting a little bit wrong, and Brett says, maybe the right got a dose of summer breeze. Makes me feel fine. Playing with my mowers in my mind. Wow, now, 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 now. I gotta pee. Should we do pee break? I feel like I gotta pee. Is there anything else I need? You guys need anything? You guys want anything? Brett, you need a chore or something? I worked late. I actually passed out here for a little bit after work. Caught up with Ken's. I caught most of it. I think I caught about 3/4 of it. Because I managed to bring... I was started working on the snapper outside, and then I said, you know what? I'm bringing it in. I'm not going to get it all done. It needs more than I realized. I'm not going to do everything. But like I said, Ken kind of inspired me. Probably in a bad way. I'm like, you know what, the heck with just doing everything. We're just going to go through what it absolutely needs. And I've never cut with the damn thing. I need to use it. So I'm like, all right, I'm not going to finish this up outside. Let's bring it in. It's in. I'm almost done. It got late. I'm like, I do want to do a live. I don't want to kill myself. I'll work a little bit longer. Then I had to make some food. And I got all that out of the way. And I was sitting here and I was watching World War II tank stuff. And I was watching one of these battles in France. And I was like getting into it, and then I just fell asleep. I was just out cold. You know how when you're like this, I was got my feet up, and you're like, right? Like my dog. I was just out. I'm like, I started to wake up a little bit every now and then. I'm like, oh crap, it's getting kind of late. I should take a shower. You know, sing it, Brother Rog. I know we got to do that. Well, listen, we're the keepers of the song, right? We're the keepers of the summer breeze, right? Right? Maybe the right got a dose of summer breeze. So the right's got to come in. So I wanted to test the Cub Cadet a little bit, but it doesn't. I don't like to use machines that don't have. So I don't want a bag. I know it'll work fine, but I was going to use it, but there's no mulch plate. There's nothing I can put over the discharge, and my yard is narrow. It's long, but it's narrow, and I don't feel like running over something and have it shooting out and hitting something. So I'm not doing that. So I'm just going to test cut an area, but I don't really need to test cut with that thing. I really don't need it. It runs. I made it run fine. It's been here. I went over the whole thing. I haven't released that video yet. It's just he broke that piece because it's not made for it. It's a Cub Cadet that basically is a lawn tractor, not a lawn and garden tractor. It's basically a lawn tractor, a rear engine rider with no steering wheel. It's basically what it is. And on some level, fellas, it's actually lighter in some areas than, especially it's definitely lighter than a lot of the older Sears. That's why this thing broke, because they hung this big bag. And I was babbling on a little bit about putting a bushing in and everything. Now, if I had a little lathe or a big lathe, I would make the bushing thing and I would modify it. I did beef it up a little bit, but you really can't beef it up because it's one thing leads to another. Because as you make one part a little stronger, you look at the thing and overall it's not a very good design. On that bar in the ends, it doesn't ride into bushing. It just rides on the thin 3/16 steel of the outer frame. It's already starting to cut its way into that part. I've made the part stronger. You can no longer put a factory part on it because you will break it because of the bag. And which means you'd have to modify a factory part and it will wear out. And this is just going to it's just going to be this thing. So I'll discuss it with him. He kind of knows. He mentioned it to me. He says, it's a bag. I said, yeah. Nice idea, but it's the wrong implementation for a bag like that. So he was looking at another one. He's actually looking at a few other machines. But we'll talk it over. It's in very good shape otherwise. What can you do? Well, my advice would be, if you want to cut with the bag, cut with the bag when you need to do bagging. Like for those lawns and those estate areas, whatever that you need to bag and you feel like you want to use this machine for bagging, that's what you need to do. You got maybe more help, on deck for the day. Okay. Try not to use it. I don't like using it without a bag. That's his choice. I know he does that. I think that's a bad idea. Hands off. All I can do is make a suggestion. And he has other machines. When I get some of these other machines going, he can pick and choose. I think that's where he really needs to be. Like I said earlier, at this time of the year, coming into it with machines that are down or not running right, he had that other mechanic work on his stuff, screwed stuff up, made things worse. Once we get through all of that nightmare and there's a little more smooth sailing, and he's getting there. Because he's young, he's younger. I mean, he's probably about 40 now. I don't know. It's hard to tell. As you get to be around my age, everybody's young. You know, I got to get him to a certain level, and then you can start thinking, I think, more clearly, more rationally. It's nice to have multiple machines because they're going to break anyway. They're going to need service anyway. Unfortunately, they tend to do that after you've dragged the damn thing to the job, and you need to count on it. If you have more machines, you can afford to play, you know, the shell game and move stuff around, do your mechanic or whatever, and bring things to bear. And so let's take a pee break. Let's set up the pee lady. I just need a quickie. I just need to quickly, you know, something. I'll lay something in there. Right? This, watch. Is this what Maida says this is bad? The pee lady is bad. Is this why I lost 2 people on the last live? Right? Hopefully. All right, I'm coming. Hold on, Pete Lady. You got to move over. I had to let the dog in because I guess somebody let him out. Let's see. We'll shut Pete Lady off. There we go. So I was just getting ready to come back, and the old timer, old geezer, I saw him come walking in. So I guess somebody's home. I don't know. I didn't see anybody in there, but somebody must have came home, and he wanted to go back in. Because Brett says, well, used the Toro after church last week for a whole backyard like a charm. The time estimated joyful noise unto the Lord. Did you fix the issue with it? Did you fix the transmission, Brett? Because that's, you were saying, because it's heavy. Or does it just work better now that it's warm out? It'd be nice if you could just pull the tranny out and maybe you just need to clean it and put fresh oil in it. You know, hydraulic fluid or oil or whatever you're supposed to put in there. It'd be nice if you could just take that out. I mean, it's going to be a pain in the neck. Let's try a little applesauce. That's nice. I didn't eat a lot. So, yeah, RW. Yeah, so the plan is, so this processor basically is Intel's hot rodded version of what was being used for their servers. And I got to tell you, it's a nice processor. And with the RAM in it and everything, and the workstation motherboard, and all the stuff that I can plug into it, I think at some point, you know, in the future, if I do have the money and I can afford to update to a new computer, whatever that is, I can set this up off to the side someplace, gigabit, Ethernet, and have it set up as a NAS. I can do all kinds of things. I can set up a sandbox. I can do all of that kind of stuff because there's be tons of room in the case and it'll be tons fast enough for all of that and the file storage and everything else. But that'll have to come later, right? I got to put the fires out. Doesn't matter if it's decade old. Doesn't mean anything. A lot of people use, you should see some of the stuff people use for NASs and all kinds of stuff. A lot of the technology's fine. You don't need all brand new. As long as it suits what you need it to do. This thing, I'm able to edit the video, no problem. So, like I said, even with, you know, I don't know, people think that you need all this new stuff, and it depends upon what you've built. Like a decade old of what? Things have changed, but to some degree, some of the stuff that's changed is not the stuff that I need. I got really fast hard drives in it. Everything else seems to be good. It's a pretty decent video card. If I was doing, I don't edit in 4K. I edit basically in 1080p. And even in 1080p RAW, if you were just doing complete RAW files, it'd be a different story. But most people, even with like a lot of the newer computers, they use what's known as proxies. These are like snapshot thumbnail size video frames. Really reduced quality and size. And even with some of the modern stuff, because if you have a very big timeline with all kinds of layers of stuff, you're working on a gigantic project, you're going to want to have everything in proxies. And at that point, it doesn't really need to be a super fast computer. They just tend to buy them because they have the money. And it will slow down even a newer computer because, like I said, there isn't all that much of a difference. Like you'd think it would be, synthetically when they benchmark this stuff. But it's like I'm looking into like some of the real high-end processors are out there. Like the Threadrippers with all these cores. Most programs that are used today, other than stuff that's in Linux, if you're working in Linux, most programs can only handle a couple of threads, a couple of cores. Like they cannot take full advantage of some of these new processors with all this horsepower. They just can't. They choke, they bottleneck. And the bottlenecking isn't from the hardware, it's from the lack of optimization of the programs. So you could put all kinds of money into a system, and at the end of the day, there'll always be a bottleneck somewhere, and most of the time, it's going to come from the application. It takes time to work that stuff out, and there's a lot of changes that take place. But it really depends on what you're doing and what you're connecting it to. Benchmarking wise and spec wise, yeah, it's always nice to have the best. The best today, or really nice stuff today, is ridiculously priced. It's not like years ago. Let's see. Actually, no. The editing software cannot use all the extra cores. None of them really can. On the Threadripper, it doesn't do any better. It winds up not really utilizing it. The only time you might see some real horsepower thrown at it is, which is nice, but it's when you do your export. Essentially, when you do your render, it cuts down render times. But that tends to come at the end of the project. It doesn't really help you during the middle of the project. Everything has to do more with a couple of CPU cores and the individual threads, the threads that are being utilized and how efficient they are. And it has a lot to do with the encoding that's going on while you're using it, not the encoding that comes later. So throwing a lot, I have already essentially 12 cores that I'm throwing at it at 4.5 gigahertz. So it's just not really the problem. There's plenty of speed. Even a DDR3, you don't get a huge benefit out of the enhanced speeds. It's not utilizing it that way. The video card RAM is really what DaVinci uses. So if you put a big video card in it, you're going to get a lot more speed. But a top-of-the-line video card today is anywhere between $1,800 and $1,000. That's insane. That's ridiculous. That's just for a GPU. So you could buy a GPU that is a decent GPU for $600 to $800. That's ridiculous. That's a ridiculous amount of money. That's really where the processing is in the GPU. If you really want to make a computer faster for video editing, it's hard drives and GPU. The CPU could be a little bit of a bottleneck, but not really. Not really, as long as you have a decent one. But that gets to be really expensive. And I've looked at all the reviews and everything from some of the high-end stuff, and it's ridiculously expensive, and it doesn't seem to help anybody out because they still have complaints. Hey, Bleach. He goes, sorry I'm late coming in from mowing with my push mower, and Snapper comment. Right, how did your little barbecue thing go? Kentucky Fried says, best performance upgrade on this one was by adding the SSD drive. Yup. Yeah. And if you go to an NVMe, you're going to see even another improvement because it's the data, literally, that you're moving around. And you're not moving around just regular MP4 files, right? You're moving around these more raw camera footage files, and there's tons of them. And the throughput the throughput is high because I've got tons and tons of them in every folder, and you're moving them around and utilizing them and editing them. And it's like when somebody renders a video, let's say a movie, and then they go and play it. It's already in a package. It's already been packaged, and you're playing it. You're scrubbing through it. So if I take something that's in a movie file, MOV format or an MP4 format, and I put it next to another one, 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 that's all data, right? And then I take a section of it and I cut it and I remove it, and they all compress together. And then the whole system has to go, holy crap, what just happened? And then I want to scrub through it and play it. Well, that is more to do with the video card than anything else. And DaVinci can take advantage of, I think it's like at least 12 gigabytes of video memory. I've already allocated like 8, just in general, that DaVinci uses. It can see my entire 64, gigabytes, but it doesn't use all of it at any one time. So I give a certain amount to the operating system. Like, you try to cut it up so that you're allocated. I mean, I've got a lot to work with, but it can't use it all the time, but it has access to it. And then if you want to set up like a scratch drive, which DaVinci doesn't really need, you're better off just having like the operating system running everything on an SSD and then pointing DaVinci to a work folder. And I bring all of the things that I'm working on into a folder on an NVMe drive so that I have all the speed and access that I need. And I just work from there. But I can't access my video card fully because I don't own the software. So I have no idea how much performance I'm losing until I own it. And that's $300. So buying a new computer won't do me any good, because until I own the software, I will not be able to get the proper performance out of it. So I need the software, I need the hard drives because I literally have no more room, and I need a new router because I've got security issues and I don't have enough connectivity out here. So there's no point in even thinking about a computer. That's not going to help me. That's dreamland for another me, perhaps a future me, if life stops shitting all over me and I can afford it. But those are ridiculous numbers. They're really expensive. Let's see, what did he say? What's my last... Scroll up, Arch, to my last comment. Let me... where... Oh, okay. No, the transmission still is weak, but since it's warm out, it did decent. It doesn't move fast, but I'm moving on a flat backyard. Besides, I need the workout. Yeah, I hear you. That's why I like the push lawnmower. Like I've been saying, even though I like the workout and I need the workout with the push lawnmower and everything, when I get overwhelmed and I'm really, really busy and like now the lawn needs to be cut, it's going to be nice to have the snapper as a backup. Bleach goes, sorry I'm late. Kentucky Fried Chicken, best performance. Bleach says, my Windows 10 laptop I added on has been doing the lives on my cell. Yeah, a lot of people like the cell because it's easier. Yeah, but I can't because I don't have the connectivity out here. I'm not using up my data. And this is an older iPhone. I would need to put a microphone on it because you can't hear anything. I tried it. So I'm like, well, what's the point? By the way, I looked into... well, let me catch up. Brett says, scroll up, Arch. Robert says, the Briggs & Stratton brand of the axle boots for your snapper rear engine riders are not cheap. I own them already. I bought the boots and I bought the one seal. I forget which side it's on, but I have it. I got it. It's downstairs in the basement. Kentucky says, man, that file transfer rate is everything. Yeah, it really is. It really is huge, especially with these, the kinds of video files that we work with. Robert says, Arch, get the rubber booties for your snapper. Don't waste your time and money on the cheap ones. Yeah, I bought the Briggs. I know. I peeled off, I think what was on there were like these blue rubber Duja accordions, right? And I took off a blue set and a white set off of 2 other machines that are gone. Real crap. I think this one was either the blue or the white. I don't remember which one it was. It might have been the sort of off-whitish, reddish, pinkish knockoff brand. No, the ones I have, I think, are black in the Briggs bag. Yeah. Yeah, totally. Because it's a lot of work. And they don't have the snap-on booties. That would be nice. You know, the ones that just snap on. You can put tie wraps. Do they have Bluetooth mics for cell phones? I don't know. Most of the time, like if you're on one of these kinds of phones and this is an iPhone, it just plugs right in the bottom. Now, I've heard of the Bluetooth stuff, but you're going to be, I don't know what do they, I don't know if they are Bluetooth, because some of the ones that have like the nice lapel mics, or whatever you want to call them, the clip-ons, some of those have quite a bit of range. I don't think you can do that with Bluetooth. I don't think it's a Bluetooth device. I'm sure they have them, but a lot of the ones that I've seen guys are using, people use, they can go like a couple 100 feet. I don't think you can do that with Bluetooth. I don't think that would even be strong enough. That's just some kind of wireless, frequency. See, his brother says they have the wireless mic stereo even with the USB-C plugs in your phone. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because he says, I tried wireless microphone with my iPhone. The sound was terrible. Did one video with it and tossed it. Nice. Nice. Yeah. We got to check out your channel. Let's see. Let me grab it. Let's do a quick. Yeah, let's see. Let me pick up something. Hold on real quick. Let's just check out. We'll throw a link in. We'll just do it quick because it's getting late. But we could play around next time. But I just want to pop a link. I'm just going to pick one rando. Let me see. Am I? So let me go. I'm going to subscribe. Am I? Well, let me put his name in. And I'm going to do the same. First the name. Hold on, fellas. Let me go to edit and put in the edit let me grab the channel. I'm putting that in because you won't be able to see. I guess I have it turned off, but nobody can see the chat after it, the record. And hold on, here it comes. Okay, that should be up. And let's see, let me pick one. Ooh, let's see. We'll just scroll through it, but just to show you fellas. Oh, wait, here's a trailer. Hold on. Yeah, let's play his trailer. If you don't mind, Kentucky. Hold on, got to turn the audio on. Hold on. Let's restart it.
There's a in the hills of Kentucky where the engines
nice.
Roar. There's a man named Chris Bonanno. He knows the score.
There he goes.
With a can-do attitude
Sweet.
and a toolbox in his hand, he builds winning engines on a budget plan.
Save that money.
Hillbilly with a
Oh, there's some
toolbox,
money in
yeah,
that.
he's in the know. Kentucky Fried Fixes, watch them engines go.
Nice.
Racing and performance,
nice,
custom
Mike
built,
Cooney.
can't you see?
Yeah.
Chris Bennett's Kentucky Fried Fixes, engines built for you and me.
Better believe it.
Nice. That's a great intro. Trailer. Sweet. So go check that out. Very cool. Hold on, I'm coming back. Yeah, just figured I'd throw that in there. Hold on, fellas. Hold on. Coming back. Coming back. Yeah. Oh, this is the one here. Wait. This guy commented. He goes, did you attempt to simply turn the clamp 180 degrees? Yeah, I did. I showed that, but you didn't watch it. Let's see. This is the one that I did on the GSTP.
I've got a better table.
Blade thing.
Hey guys.
Oh, that's not
Welcome
what I
back.
want. That's I accidentally clicked on it. That's James.
Front wheels underneath here.
Yeah, here we go. We'll just take a quick look at this thing.
So that's why they're saying
That's a pretty cool
you need
device,
to
I
adjust
got to
the
tell
angle
you.
to that. So somewhere on here, you're going to want to make a notation. Now, I kind of like this.
It's not
angle.
accurate.
This
It is a
seems to be pretty
knockoff.
good. And that's an angle of 25.
It does a good job once you get it set up
Normally
right.
what I do, fellas, is I do something like this. I like to flatten all my blades first, at least.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go through the. There's a nice
Just open
shot.
up the jaw.
Let's get into a nice shot. I just want to show you.
Up, and we'll take it from there.
If you haven't seen the video,
The next morning.
All right, fellas, before we go outside, just a couple of things I want to show you and something I came up with. Now, is there any advantage to mounting this over here on this side?
yeah, you could.
I don't know, right?
If you're a
we can
lefty or a
experiment with that,
righty,
but I
you
tried
might want to
look
experiment
at the
with that.
pictures, which are hard to see. I just put them back in.
I'll just
And
cruise
like I
through
said,
this
I'll
real
get some
quick.
close-up. Now, it's nice to have adjustments. Things may vary a little bit for you, the size of the blade, the position you're in, the kind of tool you have, whatever. I don't know. But I'm
I
not
did a
happy
full
so far
review.
trying to get that.
I
and then
picked at this
retighten.
thing and
that might
poked
get
at it.
yours, man. Yeah, that's good. I think this one could come
I
up
made
just a
different
little bit.
adjustments to
Well, I
it because
wanna
it
check
wasn't
that.
right.
You see the gap
I made
in
a
here.
piece for it, that little piece right there to angle it better. It
right.
doesn't fit every size blade unless
Here we
you
go.
flip that bracket
Let's try
around.
this.
I tried it different ways. I tried it with different, compound blades. It's nice. And I did a crap load of blades. Let's see.
Yeah.
Because we were
That's
talking
a little bit
about
better.
blades
That's
last
closer
week.
to the angle I want, definitely.
Let's see,
Now
I'm just
again,
cruising through it.
Lifting
Oh, here
the
we
blade
go.
up, giving it a good, sort of a cock in it a little. See the mess it makes. I'm going to blow this off. Wow. That's why I like to do it outside, between the rust and everything else. But, come out here for a little while, get a whole bunch of different blades done, and just nice, accurate cuts. And again,
Yeah, I gotta
think
do
we'll
it
bring
again.
inside, but just let me give you a look now. And I think that looks pretty good. Hopefully the lighting is good. I'll check it in a little bit. And here's one. Now right here, we're going to want to get a little bit because that's a transition area, and wasn't that good at it yet. But
Yeah,
we
it's a little technique
we
to
could
it.
touch that up. That looks pretty decent. And this is one of the ones that was really beat up, so I had to flatten one end down.
If you're doing a lot of blades or you set it
this
up
one's
on
a
a
little bit better.
station that you
But
don't
this
move
was
it,
one where I wasn't happy
It's
with
nice.
the angle until I made that modification. But it's still pretty. It looks real good. It cleaned it
it's
up
a different
nice.
one. That one
I'd
was
say
just quick.
the angle is real close. All right, there's the lineup. 10 blades. 2 I threw out, so that was 12. There's one up there, the Honda. So they're all clean and balanced, and I checked them over. And then what I'll do now is I'll blow a little bit of cheap paint on them, just quick. A light coat, flip it. I don't care while it's wet. Flip it. Quick blast on the other side, and I'm going to leave it until tomorrow. When I get done later on and finish cleaning up, I want to take a measurement on these. Bring it up in a little bit more. I don't know. I'll decide.
Yeah,
then.
I adjusted it to my
And
liking.
then when I get the measurement, I'm looking to see if anything hits. Where are be able to tighten this? Although you got to watch out because.
So anyway,
All right, so
check that
fits.
video out if you
gotta be-
want.
you gotta wa-
Let me come back. See, there's me, and there's you guys. So one of the things I'm going to do next, I'll show you here, see where you guys are here, right? And there's me, your host with the least. So all you guys are here, so I'm going to tell you, Ken had mentioned, I don't know, last week before, I remember. He said something about you can go live with a co-host on YouTube. Through this thing here. This is YouTube Studio. Just to clarify. Right, so it's actually lagged. It's lagging right now. See, it's showing what I already showed you. So let me refresh it. Refresh the page because it starts to lag. We're back. Okay. So it will lag for a little bit. And this is YouTube Studio. And so you can actually go live just using YouTube with a co-host. Unfortunately, you got to do it on your phone. Right? It doesn't seem like they have a setup yet for like the desktop setup like what I'm doing. So it's back to Zoom, StreamYard, and stuff like that. But I was looking into some more things and capabilities that I can do once I settle in. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to pop out the chat, put it up on the window that I can show you with like me over in the corner and make it big. And I think it would just be nicer because when I look at the chat, I'm like this, and I'm in this weird position, and you just see me, and I'm staring at God knows what. Well, now you'll be able to see me and yourselves talking in the chat. So that's coming up next. And I think it'll just look better, and it'll flow a little bit better, and everybody can see. And the nice thing about that, because you know how a lot of times, like tonight I didn't run segments because I'm tired and it's late and I'm not ready. That's the title of the video. But usually you know how I run segments, right? So I want to talk about certain things, and I'll dedicate a little bit of time to it. And then I want to catch up with you guys, because really the show is about you fellas. It really is. I read the chat and I work with you guys, and then I add in my thing. And then I work with you guys, and either you like it or you don't like it, or you respond to whatever. But mostly it's the chat. And now I want to be able to put that chat, because in the replay, on the recorded, you don't see the chat. And so people that are coming back, I get like hundreds of views later. So, there's only a handful of us that most of the time hang out in here in a live. And I think it's just going to be better, particularly for the people that come back later, because they have no idea who I'm talking to or what you guys are saying in the replay. And I could let the chat run. I think there's a setting somewhere in the live or whatever, because Ken's is like that too, and I've noticed it from time to time, but I don't think I think it's something you can toggle. But regardless, I think it would be better if that when I go to lean over and go, all right, fellas, let me catch up, either I throw a switch over here in OBS, or I have a macro that I just hit, and then the screen goes from what we see now, I get shoved over to the side, similar to this when I do something like that with the little box in the background. But it'll bring up the chat window, and it'll be in half screen, and I think it'd just be kind of neat. So I'll get there with that. Let me catch up. Let's see. Brett wants to co-host. Let me see. Let me catch up. So I put in Kentucky's in. Now, you're welcome, Kentucky. Your channel looks really cool. I want to spend some time in that. I'll get around to it. I'm subbed. I love the intro. Nice stuff. So Johnny says, "Are you from Kentucky? If so, what part?" Central Kentucky. Kentucky Fried says. Brett says, "Very good. Always intimate." James. Let's see. Imitate. Always imitate James. Oh, yeah, James, yeah. I see. He says, see, I can't see it. That's why I want it to pop out, and that way I can even put it on the bigger monitor, because usually I put it over here. I don't have the other computer on, but usually I put it over here, and it's much bigger on this monitor, which I still got to get the remotes working for. Thanks, TJ. I will get to that. TJ actually sent me the remotes for the big monitor, and one of them should work. Let's see. Bravo says, okay, I've been all over Kentucky supporting equipment and coal mining. Kentucky Fried might indicate on the area. Versus Pea Break Lady is pissing invisible pea. Bleach says, Vice working good for sharpening blades. Yeah. That's usually what I do, is I just grab my nice Milwaukee battery operated grinder. And I just go outside. I got that Vice outside that I got from my late friend Don, God bless. And it's just what I usually do. And I use it again today on the Snapper. But I gotta say, if you want to set up that nice blade sharpener and you do a lot of blades, I do a lot of blades, but if you really do a lot of blades and you have a spot for it, it is a very nice tool once you spend some time with it, develop a little bit of technique, tweak it the way you want it. There's some adjustability there. I made a little thing for it as well. I made that part just out of a piece of angle iron. It's actually angle aluminum. And yes, you can rotate and turn that vise around a little bit, but it was just easier because the blades are different widths for different machines, and it can't grab the smaller width blade, which is very common, these smaller width blades, because they're like cheesing out. So I just like grab that little extra adapter and I just drop it in there and tighten it up, and it sets the angle where I want it, and off I go. And again, there's a little technique. You can clamp it to a bench. You can screw it to a bench. I think you can put it right or left. I don't know. I really fool around it for a while. And you can it's got a little extension. You screw it on your grinder, and I left it on my grinder. And you can just plug it in real quick, do your thing. You can get a really nice angle, keep that angle true. Once you get a good angle, you can adjust the angle. Some people are by the way, some people are really peevy about their blade sharpening technique, about the angle of their blade. And, if you're buying expensive blades and you have a lot of them, I can understand that. If it's just for us that maybe we sharpen our blade, maybe we don't. I just ran over a telephone pole. Oh, crap. I guess maybe I should sharpen my blade. Which, by the way, in the public service announcement, you'll see I give people a hard time for not maintaining their blades. And I heard something about that today on Ken's Live. People running over stuff. I've had blades that, like the deck is this wide and their blade is now like this wide and it's bent. I was like, how do you use it to that degree? What are you cutting? Who did you cut up? These things are not for that, right? Like, for the people that there are people that have a fairly large lawn. They water it, they fertilize it, they like their lawns. They use maybe Kentucky bluegrass or a really nice fescue and rye. They get good saturation. They want a particular cut. They want a particular angle, and I don't know. I think stuff like this is a nice thing, and they offered it to me. And like I said, I've used it. I like it. It's a good product. It is a knockoff variant. If you really want the original, I think it was an American fellow here that made it originally. It is a lot more money. Something to think about. So let's see. You guys are chatting about Cave City near Mammoth Cave National Park. Kentucky says, I always mess up on the multi-level blades. Yeah, that's the other thing too, is that you can set this thing up to where, like the mulching style blades, it will if you just make that adjustment, you'll get the same results every time. So you can do your transition area, you can do the one flat, the other flat. So it is nice. Let's see, Bleach says, where am I? When I went like on my cookout video, I see option to invite people to live. Yes, you can invite somebody to your live as a co-host. I think last I looked at it, they said it was one person. I know they're trying to work on it. Maybe there's more now, but it's going to be through the phone. At least for right now. Let's see, my people are shaken, not stirred. Brett says, I'll help co-host. Yeah. Brett, you need a mic too. We can't hear you on Ken's Live. They step all over you because nobody can hear you. Plus there's a delay. That's the problem I have with this thing. I mentioned it to you. Although, whenever that time that when we were on mine, I got you to set up on your notepad or whatever it was, and this, I don't remember how you did that. I thought that was the best setup because we could see you properly, we could hear you properly, everything looked nice. It was probably more of a pain in the ass, I'm sure. You should try that again. I like that. That seemed to work well from my end. I don't know about from your end. Let's see. I'll have co-host. Like when people shaking. I get to hang out here on Saturday nights because they don't let me out much. Right. Someone could dress as the P lady as a call. That's crazy. That would be cool. You got to find that dress. We can pop out the chat and then use the Windows split screen. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. RW. I'm going to pop it out, split screen it, set it up, make it like on a shortcut or something. On this side of my keyboard, I can make all kinds of cool shortcuts and macros. And I have a couple for editing already. Although when I buy the software, it comes with its own little editor pad with the thumb wheel on it. You can dedicate the thumb wheel to like scrubbing, going back and forth. You can do a number of things. So you can get that one. That's the one I want to get. I think it would be nice to just sit right over here. I have the room for it. And that way I get both hands. Because I actually need another mouse. This is an old mouse, but you can use it left or right. And my mouse, Logitech gaming mouse, broke because it's a piece of crap. But normally what I would do is I'd have a mouse in each hand when I edit. So I want to see how now I use the mouse in the right hand and I use the keyboard mostly in the left, but I have all the macros. So I want to see what theirs does, because maybe it'll just be macros left, mouse right. Or maybe mouse and macros. I don't know. I got to see how it works out. But the shortcuts and all that, I will set them up, hotkeys, things of that nature. Now, there are boards you can get that do this kind of stuff for you. But more money. You know, and like I said, the hard drives are not cheap. That's $200 a hard drive for 10 terabytes for a nice drive. And they're NAS drives, and they should last a while, and maybe sometime next year they'll be in their own dedicated NAS, and I'll have a different computer. You know, it depends on how well I do, or, you know, how things go, the way things are going in the world. Like, I was just chatting with my ex-wife about this. I'm like, you know, this is all the kind of crap that's really putting people out. We can't afford these constant increases. Bad. Killing us, you know. If you're more well off, it's more of an annoyance. But when you're on the edge, you can't seem to get anywhere. And then everything else is more expensive. You know. So yeah, we'll have the pop-out chat, which I think will be fun. I just think it looks better. It's easier for the people that come back. It'll be easier for me to see. Let's see, Brett says, my fat ass is not dressing up as the people. Like, why not? Why not? Let's hire a drag queen. Right? Yeah, we'll have to all chip in. They get good money. Yeah, Robert, give her Lasix before the show. Bleach says, Flip Wilson did drag. Yeah, they all do. They all do that sooner or later. That's just the thing they all freaking do sooner or later. They all do it. Like, at some point, it's like, your turn now. Like, what do you mean? I thought I was going to get away with this. Nope. You've been at this long enough now. You're getting some popularity. Put a fucking dress and a bra on, bro. You guys, your turn. Right? It's like another one of those rites of passages that you got to deal with. I mean, you think about it, right? I mean, Rob more than I, because he actually went out to California and hung out with all the hair bands, right? I mean, they looked like girls. They dressed in the finest women's clothing back in the 80s. They actually did, because they got their clothes from their girlfriends and shit, because they were so damn broke they couldn't afford to buy anything. So their girlfriend chicks would give them some of their clothes to put on so they wouldn't be naked. Let's see. Bleach says, for once I'm not on ganja. Yes, there you go. Good, bro. Good. You don't always need the ganja. You know. It says, Brett says, me, I don't care the angle as long as it cuts, right? I'm mowing my lawn, not a fancy condo or park, right? I know. Hey, Peter, welcome to the channel. Geraldine, what is Geraldine IIRC? What does that mean? Or is it 2RC? RW says, he goes, I have you set that way now. What does that mean? I don't get everything, fellas. You got to help me out. RM says, someone use vacuum cleaner hose to protect the axles on a snapper rear end rider. That's you know, that's not a bad idea as a temporary thing. Actually, I could do that. I could also use that corrugated electrical tubing of the GM just for now, until I get around to it. It's not a bad idea. It's kind of cheesy, but it's not terrible. I might actually want to do that for a little while. I mean, if I show that, you guys are going to be freaking out. I'm going to have people going, he's an idiot. Everybody unsubscribe from that moron. It might be a good thing to do just for now, actually, just to keep some of the schmutz off of it. That's not a bad idea. I'm not going to completely knock it. You know? But now you got me thinking, Robert. I just got in some new vacuum hose, too. I found that vacuum. Remember, it was like a week or so ago. I said I found the vacuum. The guy threw out a nice vacuum from across the street. So I got that size. I got some other vacuum hose that's getting beat. I think I need to throw it out and just put some of the other vacuum hose that I have laying around. I mean, maybe it's time to do that. As much as I hate to, because I kind of like that hose, but it's already taped up. You know, it's not like I don't have other vacuum hose. I got some of that nice plastic hose. I'm glad you mentioned that. As cheesy as that sounds, I think I would be happier putting something on there than leaving it wide open until I can get around to finishing the job properly. And then I could finish doing what I got to do to the rest of the machine, fix that flat tire, drop it on all fours, and bring it out and cut my lawn. And I'll feel a little bit better. I'm glad you said that. I know it's cheesy, but I'm glad. I'm gonna do that. Let's see. Yeah, remember the lion shirt? Yeah, that was a good one. There was also another one too. Remember the Joker shirt I had? That one was cool. Let's see. Split screen is set with the chat popped out. Yep. Yeah, but I don't see it like that, right? Because I don't always watch this window. So if I pop this out, well, wherever it is, it's somewhere around here. But I don't get to see it that way because I get the 3 monitors. And I want mine to be on a certain monitor, and I want to be able to broadcast it because I like to have different things up so that I can see the presentation. So I have to do it differently than you guys. So I'm going to force it. But it's only for when I'm reading it. And then it will pop back for me. So what you'll see is what I want you to see. Let's see. Brett says, Flip Wilson, Geraldine was a character of his. Yes. Pete says, yup. Brett says, I finally broke the 500. Wow. All right, everybody. Congratulations, Brett. He broke the 500 subs mark. I've talked about this before where there are like a certain numbers. You know, there are milestones. You get to 500 and then you get to the 1,000. And like I mentioned with the videos, like deleting certain videos that can hurt your channel. Well, obviously, to me, I think the most obvious thing is that when you first start out, and it doesn't matter how long you've been at it, there are certain numbers, like 100 videos. That's a lot. 50 videos is a video every week, basically. 52 weeks in a year, but nobody really does that because you're going to miss one or two. You're going to take some time off. You might be on vacation, whatever, holidays. So 50 videos in a year is a lot for somebody that's just starting out on YouTube. So it takes like 2 years to reach 100. Yes or no? It's not easy to do. And you can do more than one video, obviously, if it's easier for you. I'm talking long format, not shorts. So if it's easier to do 2 videos a week, that's still 100 videos in a year. To do a video every day, YouTube would have to be the only thing that you're doing, in which case, if you're brand new at it, you're not making any money. So how are you doing that? So there's certain numbers that I think that when you get to these numbers, like when I got to something like 200 videos, I was like, all right, we're going to put every video I have on it. And some of them suck. Like that guy said, you shouldn't do this. You should leave it to the people that know how to do this. Well, I would still have that video up. But I leave it up because it's a Ford F-150 and it got a lot of views. And initially I was like, well, I don't care if it sucks really bad. I got to get some views. And then I would start to look at them when I got to around 225 videos, somewhere around there. I was like, okay, what can I afford to get rid of? So I changed a few titles. I changed some of the keywords in the search. I looked at it. If I could bring it up in editor and cut something out, I'd try. And because I had 220, so I could afford to lose 5, 10, 15, 20. And I left it. And then when I got to like around 300, I'm like, I'm getting close to 300. All right, just throw up whatever we can get up there. Like, if it sucks, if it's not all that great, whatever, let's get to 300. Then once you get past 300, you go back and look, and you're like, all right, is there anything I can get rid of? Because is there anything that really just is not that good? Can I get rid of it? Do I want to get rid of it? All right, so there are those landmarks, like, congrats, dude, and you can't control your subscribers. You really can't control the views. You can control how many videos you put up and the quality. That's really the only thing and you can control the title and the keyword. That's like the only thing you have control over. Let's see. Brett says, right now I could eat 13 subs, meatball subs, that is, just not everyone's face like I did with the pizza. I know, now you're getting me hungry. But he says, over 2,000 videos on my channel. Wow. Kentucky Fried says, you never know what people will like. It's crazy. Stuff I think nobody will like ends up being popular, right? It really is bizarre. And that's why I say, I was thinking about the other night, I'm like, well, you have two choices. You can spend the money and protect your videos and organize them. You can stop doing videos. But either way, if you lose those videos because they're not worked on yet, you haven't published them, then you're never going to know. Okay? Some of them could be good. Some of them could be really good and nobody will watch them. Some of them could be, and for whatever reason, people will watch them. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, like, I have some idea when I look at my top 10 list, or let's say top 20 that rotate in to the top 10. I have some idea what works. Some of them I've actually redone because I thought I could do a better job the second time around, and that was a true case. Where the second time around, the one that I did to replace the original, it did do better, and it pushed the original one out. Yeah, all right, well, then you have something to go by, and go on. But a lot of them, I have no fucking clue. Excuse my French. I don't know. What the hell do I know? I'm not the arbiter of taste and decision-making in the YouTube world. No, I mean, I can tell if a video is good technically. But taste-wise, nobody knows. See, Brett says, my best vids are my pressure washer ones. Yeah, right? See, there you go. Which, again, leads to, I mentioned to you that you should do another video. That's why I said that. Where you lay out what you did on that one video. You lay out the machine, the wand, that attachment for the concrete. You just talk a bit about it and do what I do, where in that video you put links and what I call B-roll. That you take the thumbnail of the video where you actually did all the work, previously. You show the thumbnail, maybe even talk about it and overdub and show a little segment of it. You're advertising yourself, and then come back into the video. And maybe towards the end or as part of an outro or midtro, so you can advertise the other video, link it all in the description, both videos, and then put it out. And they're both linked together in the description areas. You're talking about, the second video, you're talking about the first video. People like that because they might be interested in knowing this, but if you just say it without the links and the pictures, it just goes right over their head. They're like, yeah, I don't even know. He said something about his homepage. I don't know what that means. He said something about a playlist. I don't know where that is. I'm not going to do that. Next. I mean, you're lucky if they'll even watch the whole video all the way through. So you got to make it easy for them. Make it desirable for them. Give them the link. Shove the pictures and the clips in their face. Serve it up hot and fresh. And it might really help. It's a little bit more work in the video, but, let's see. Bravo says Atlas late. I know, I've watched them. I know, I'm jealous. And treadmill motor mods, yep. But the tools also went viral. Most have like 25 views, go figure, yep. But those are fun. Let's see. RM says, my view count is at 104,575. Very nice. Congrats, bro. That's nice. That's above 100,000. You think about it, you think that's such a big amount, but we know people that get like 50 to 100,000 within a week. They drop whatever, right? And they're not that bad videos or anything, but they just drop a video and they're like at 50 grand. That has a lot to do with the YouTube algorithm, that blessed algorithm that we all love and hate, and love to hate, and hate to love. But we want to love it. We want it to love us, but it doesn't. So someday it'll shine on all of us, but until that day, But yeah, that's how it works. And I think sometimes YouTube just picks you. Like it just picks somebody, like a one-hit wonder. Like somehow or other, there's lots of good bands out there, but why is it only a handful of them? Like that Hey Ya guy, right? That crusted up my whole entire computer. I wonder what Musty's vid. I know, it's in the many, 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 many millions. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, and he still gets he doesn't top rate anymore. But he'll average like a 50,000, 100. I mean, it's nice because he's at a point now where it doesn't matter. And he's been at that point for a long time. Like I remember listening to when he was going to do the transition to the new shop, and he was looking into buying something or renting or mortgaging. You guys remember that? And he wasn't really in a great financial position, but he was in a good one. And he still had to count his beans. And then he got lucky, and he's got that friend that owns that place, and I think he just sublets or whatever. Like a lease. Who knows, maybe it's a lease to buy, but whatever. And a lot of us were sad that he was moving out of his little garage. You know? And it was neat. It was a thing. You know? RW says, how about a new channel, improvised explosive devices for Americans? Yeah, you really can't do that on YouTube anymore. They won't let you. Like they have switches for all of that, and they really, really frown on all of that. Not to mention, all of the official organizations and three-letter agencies really don't like that anymore. Let's see, Brett says, my view count is now 347,127 now since I started in 2015. 519 subs. Nice. It takes time, especially if you... It's very, like I said, it's very hard to put out a video every week without fail. Most people will say it's that consistency has a lot to do with it. I think 1 for the viewer, and I think 2 for yourself. Because it's like anything, it's practice. Like you got to be constantly at it, and trying to figure out if you're doing a good job and how to get better at it. And do you need a new piece of equipment? That's usually a thing at some point. I mean, you are gonna, whether you're doing it with your phone or a crap camera or a nice camera or whatever, at some point you're gonna figure out where to put all the stuff. So you're gonna have to buy thumb drives and plug-in drives or if you have a tower like mine, you can put the drives inside or make a NAS box or buy a NAS box if you have the network for it. So Bravo says, making videos is a great excuse to go buy more tools, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely. Because I like the gear, I love the gear. I mean, let's face it, I don't mind buying hard drives. I desperately need them. I do like a nice hard drive. It's not a sexy thing. But, one of my drives, I burned out a couple of my old drives that were 10 years old. I used them a lot. A Western Digital Green, which those were nice because they had this firmware in them where they would shut themselves off if they weren't really being used. They would go into this low power state. And then if you clicked on something that was accessing that drive, it took a little bit longer for it to wake up, but then it worked fine. And what was nice about that is it lasted for 10 years because it wasn't running all the time. It used less energy. It ran cooler. But, it just, the access time wasn't instantaneous because the drive was sleeping. And if you were okay with that, if it was the kind of stuff that you weren't using every day, it was fine. This is Malice says, my shorts get me more views a minute. Yeah, because they're 1 minute jammies. Yeah, shorts can be good for that. They're also good for highlighting something that you're doing. But there's never there's absolutely no money. If you ever want to make any money, you'll never make any money with shorts. You need something like millions and millions of views. Like talk about viral to make a few $100s. It's a ridiculous number. They're rated completely different. Actually, I was looking into some more of the short thing, and it's starting to fall now out of favor. A lot of the YouTubers that have been around for a while that do long form content, which is predominantly what made YouTube. There was a lot of kickback from that. They didn't really want to do it. They stopped doing a certain amount of it. And I'm going to split this into 2 categories. Into the category that people will do anything if it gets them famous and makes them a buck. Versus they don't even care what the buck is. Like they are all about, there's multicasting and streaming on Twitch and on this and on that. And they're like all over the place. And then there are more of the sort of real enthusiasts that have been around for a while. They do fine. They got big channels and all, but they really are in it for the long form content. And there was a buzz around the shorts for a while, but it has really started to fall off. It's falling back into it. I think the position it'll be staying in for a while, because what was happening is it's not that it became. This is what social engineering does. And I've heard a number of people that have been longtime YouTubers that have long form content say that they were losing views. They were losing views because YouTube was literally pushing the shorts. They were sort of pushing down the long form content and pushing the shorts because they can do that. Because they wanted to see if it would succeed, and they were affecting essentially the social structure of their little world by tweaking the algorithm to favor this new thing that they thought would be a good idea, because we see it in other formats and in other social media. And it did okay, but it really didn't help. And what wound up happening is YouTube kind of shot themselves in their own foot, because they're making money on the ad content from AdSense from the advertisers that are putting their ads on long form content. And because they were pushing the shorts, which really doesn't have very much of, if any, of that at all, YouTube itself was losing money. Let's see. What's my daughter? Where is she now? Let's see. Was she home? I don't know who let the dog out. Yeah, I don't know. Now she says she'll be home after the beach. Who was it? Bleach. Liz is not my daughter. Christina's my daughter. Bleach says today, he goes, "That's nice that you showed your daughter how to work on cars." No, Liz is not my daughter. I mean, she acts like it, though. I left like 5 a.m. We went to Montauk. Oh, nice. I was wondering. Well, somebody must have came home and let the doggy out. Robert says, if you can, a great excuse to buy more tools. Yep, I'm sure it's going to be more. Brett says, next weekend, I'm going to put together a non-shop related video. Ed and I are attending our school reunion. Oh, nice. And we both are going to take video. In fact, we will give you a shout out. Nice. That's cool. Yeah. What's wrong with doing that? Gen Z's attention span is appropriate for shorts. Yes. Yeah, but you know what? I'm finding that's true. It's becoming true for everybody. It seems like. Well, we got a little bit more time. I'm going to go take a quick piss, but I'm not going to put the pee later on. But I am going to shut the volume off. Hold on. Let's get a little cool in here. I got the one fan on, but I had to shut all the windows. I only have like 3 or 4 windows in here with screens. And I got to keep those damn June bugs out. You know, they're like helicopters. They go and slam you in the head. So that's good. My daughter was out at Montauk. Let me see. My glasses on here. This is Gen Z. Yeah, Gen Z's attention span is bad. But like I said, a lot of us are getting bad. It just ain't right without P Lady. I know it's not right. It's not the same. Let's see. Let's see. I don't want to open the widget. We close that. It doesn't like it when I shut the audio off. Just pour cups of water back and forth to simulate the sound. Yeah. Holy moly. It's like 1,000 degrees here now. I know, right? You guys are having the heat wave. No, it rained yesterday. So, which is good because we got dry for about a week, but we were having a lot of rain. It's been nice and warm during the day in 70s and 80s, but it gets a little chilly right now. I might put my other sweatshirt on and hang out for the rest of the night. But says summer has definitely arrived. But that was very funny though. Bleach. I checked out Bleach. He was doing like a live cookout, and so I popped in and said hi, and then so he got distracted and went over to show me the carcasses of his old school snappers. And then he says something like, "Oh, I saw your video. It's nice that you teach your daughter how to work on cars." And I'm thinking to myself, that's not my daughter. I'm like, I know I'm old, but you know, I'm like, Bleach, you're like 40. RM says the hose is the. Oh wait. What was he saying? Oh, he took it back. All right, he'll fix it. So I like that idea. I'm going to be poking around tomorrow and seeing what I can come up with, because I'll be done with it tomorrow. It won't take much more. I'm getting there. I got to move a wire because it's rubbing up against the belt and stuff because it's in the wrong spot. So I got a few other things to do. Put a battery in it. Make sure she's going okay. And maybe I'll put that covering on. I kind of like the idea of that. I'm going to have to cut it. But I think it'd be better cut, slit, maybe a tie wrap or two, just to make sure it's held closed, like sew it up with a tie wrap or two. I kind of like that. That'll help me for a little while. It'll make me feel better, at least, as if I did something, even if it's not the right thing. So that'll be fun. And then Monday I get my hard drives, sometime Monday, and I got to figure out what day I can dedicate to fooling around with the computer, because, it's going to take more than a day, but I need at least a day of a clear head and not working at night tired, because if I try to do it at night when I'm tired, I'll screw up. He goes, "I'm sorry, not daughter," Bleach says. That was just funny. Oh, 40 degrees. Yeah, that's 62 is what I see, wherever they're measuring it, which is probably not that far from here. That's not too bad. Yeah, Johnny Bravo says, try to get her to go on live. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think she'll do that. I tried like last year. I was going to do maybe like a giveaway, Superclean or whatever, and have her kids read off like entries and stuff like that. And every time it was like another excuse. And I'm like, all right, I'm just not going to ask anymore. I'm not going to. Honestly, I can't be bothered. I don't like to rely on certain people. They're not the ones that you can rely on, There's certain people you can call up and you can rely. If it was really bad, she would do it. But for all of the other frill things, there are people you can hang out with and rely on, and she's not one of them. Definitely not. I don't even like doing stuff for her because it's not really appreciated. She appreciates it, but she doesn't respect it. That's different. Like, she doesn't respect my time, so I'm going to put an end to that kind of shit. That will stop. I gave her one more chance, and she just doesn't respect it. She's like, I'm trying. I'm like, no, you screw me up. Like, you do everything when you want to do it without ever planning anything. And I'm like, that's why guys like me at my age don't want to mess around with women, because of chicks like you. And she's like, oh, I'm like, it's true. I'm like, we don't want to be around you. We don't want to deal with you because you're like that. And it's not that hard to plan something. Well, I think I texted her yesterday. I'm like, you want to do like a fire or something? I didn't even get a response. all right, I don't care that your life is falling. It's not that I don't care, but that's your effing problem that your life is falling apart. You don't have to be rude to me. You know, it separate them out. So when people are like that, like I feel bad for people that like for whatever reason, like they're completely harebrained and their life is shit. But you know what? I didn't even do that when my life was complete shit. At least I would say, listen, I can't do it. My life is shit. But I get tired of hearing it. I'd ask her, how was your day? How was your week? Oh, it was shit week. What is everything a shit week for? And these women, they all have this thing where when there's a problem, they don't want to fix it. And as a guy, that's what you do. And they're like, no, don't do that. We don't want you to do that. There's a bug over there. I got to kill it. We don't want you to fix it. Why don't, there's two of them. Holy shit, they're coming after me. I think I got to close one of the windows. Hold on. Can I kill this one? Yeah, I think I can. They're like mothers. That one's dead now. Can I get the next one? Go to the light. Let's see. I like the, let's see. I can't wait. Wait. There's a good, hold on. What do we? RN says the vacuum cleaner hose was the house vacuum cleaner hose, like the hose from the best. Yes, that's what I'm thinking about. I have some extras. KFC says that's a good thing to happen. I think everyone should pay a perfect stranger to come up to you and your wife, girlfriend, and say, "Is this your daughter?" Keeps them happy. Yeah, it's true. Bleach says, can't wait for sleep. Been trying to get more sleep because I get lagged, but not on sleep. I know, same here. I need to start going to bed earlier. Totally. Brett says, I like when Tractor joined you for a live show one night. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah, that was nice. That was up. That I didn't actually ask her to do that. She sort of surprised me with that one. Bleach says, my snap has PMS. Attack of June bug. Yeah, the June bugs. Yeah. That's why I think there's one. Well, I had a door open. Yeah, there's something flying around over there. And that's how the dog got in. And there's one little window over there that's cracked that has no screen in it. But it got warm in here, though, during the day. So I was like trying to cool it down. But it's cool enough now. It's like I had to step on my ex-wife's face the other day. You know, because she was getting out of hand. And I'm like, I asked you nice. I asked you nice several times. I'm not in the mood for it. And now I'm going to have to step on your face. And I'm going to step. I apologize for getting a little overwrought. But it was just quick. But I just had to step on her face because it's like, you can't keep acting this way. It just comes down to bad behavior is really all it is. It doesn't matter whether you're a kid or you're a grown adult of 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. At the end of the day, it's just bad. It's just more damn bad behavior. Stop it. You know, cut it out. Fucking stop. And I said to her, stop. It's not always about you. I know it's not about me. It's about you. Shut up. Shut it. Okay? Zip it. It's not all about you. Let it go. Right? And what does it have to be about you for? Why do you want to make everything about you? That's an awful big burden. Right? I don't want anything to be about me. Except for the money. I want the money. I want the money to be about me and come to me. Other than that, let's see. Look up George Collins, Snapper Riding Mowers. Yeah, Johnny B. Let's see. Arch, you get a Liba indoor bug zapper. I have one. I know, right? I know. That's so cool. I do got to get some stuff like that. Yeah, set it up over there. You'll be hearing it going off in the background. You'll see flashes of light into the camera at night because it's dark in here. Oh, there he goes again. There goes another one. Yeah, those are good. Whoa, something just hit. It sounds like plastic hitting something. Let's see. He's around here somewhere. The worst is like after like the show or whatever, I'll be hanging out and watch something and it gets real dark over here and then a dark moment in a movie or whatever, right? And I'm just sitting here and something will be like, it just kind of quiet. And all of a sudden something will be like, hit you. It'll be on you. And you're like, what's this? Oh, get off. You know, or out of the ceiling, the spiders like to come down because they sense your heat or whatever. Or I guess maybe infrared or whatever, and they just kind of come down, and you're like, oh, oh God, what is going on? And then like I'm relaxing. It's like 2:00 in the morning, and I get a phone call or whatever, a text from my daughter. It's constant. Spider! I gotta go all the way in the house, go all the way up the stairs, get a sponge or something, get out the chair or whatever from the other room, climb up on something, and kill it. Oh, let's see. This is Arch. When she starts that crap, just simply quote Call 54. That's all, Rose. Yes, yeah. Well, you know, everybody blows off steam different, but some people, like, they don't understand. I'm like, I just said to him, like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't go walk around yapping it like that to you, so why do I have to hear it? I don't want to hear it. You know, and then if you keep saying it, then I'm going to get mad because I don't want to hear it. I just said I didn't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. It's not that important. It's the kind of thing where if you can't find a way to be positive about it and solve it, I think like women in particular, I hate to say this, no offense, ladies, but you suck. Like, you do shit that just is crap, and it's annoying, and it's not fair, and it's not acceptable. And then you wonder why guys don't want to deal with you. My ex-wife was just saying that today. Now, she's got this weird take on stuff, right? So because she tries to date and whatever, and I try to give her some advice. And then she's like, I guess either she's getting frustrated or whatever. And she's like, well, men this, and nobody wants to commit to anything. I said, why would they need to commit? To what? What do you want them to commit to? I said, a guy, when he's younger, he thinks a chick is hot. He thinks he falls in love. It's all hormones. Yes, you can love a woman. I'm not saying you can't. I mean, the women in my life I love in my own way, sure. But it's a lot of it is about bonding, pair bonding, and ultimately maybe having children. And I said, then after an age, let's say for women, they get out of, even in the age where they have little children, they start to separate from their significant others because they're all about the children. And they forget about their hubbies. And that's when the relationships start to come apart. And then the guy feels abandoned. So what does he do? Right? He wants to go get himself a little num-num on the side because that's, you know, he wants some num-num. Guys need a little bit of attention, you know, in certain spots. And if he's young enough, he might go do it, make the mistake of doing that. And if he makes a mistake of doing that, well, then either something good's going to happen or something very bad's going to happen. Usually that's the obvious scenario. And the women get all bent out of shape and they try to cut everything apart and ruin your life. Which they're pretty much at the point that they're at anyway when they're doing what they're doing to begin with. They've abandoned you. They're about to ruin your life anyway. About 80% of all the divorces are initiated by women. And in lesbian cases, 100% of the divorces are initiated by women. Those are the facts. It's really kind of a sick situation, but it is what it is. And then I think I said to my ex, I said, you know, just well, a lot of these guys today, like, and they're not real men. I'm like, well, I don't know which ones you're dating, but I don't know how you define a real man. I could see that to be true for some of them. But they just want a little something. You know, help a guy out kind of thing. I'm like, they're not going to, marry you? And what do you think they're going to do, right? You're a middle-aged woman. They're not going to marry you. They're not going to sign on a dotted line and risk giving away the rest of what they haven't given away already or haven't been able to hold on to because of what? They barely know you. They don't have any life together or anything. They're going to marry you and sign on a dotted line, and then you're going to divorce them and take what little left they have in their golden years, so they're basically on the street. Hell no! All right? That's not going to happen. And then you get the other side. Right? Like Elizabeth has this mindset, and a lot of this is this liberal nonsense. She got some of this from her mom. You got to teach your kids, and you got to be the kind of woman that you can depend on yourself. Why? Right? Because they're fed with that they that they can do it all, bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan. Until one day on a weekend that she calls me, literally getting ready to rearrange her entire living room because she's literally pulling her hair out because she needs to fix her window because she can't breathe in there. It's getting hot out. She can't afford to have somebody to pay somebody to fix it because her husband doesn't work and doesn't actually help her with anything because he doesn't do anything because she married a guy that can't do anything, doesn't do anything, doesn't even try to do anything, so she could be independent and feel good about herself. I mean, I'm not getting involved in that mindfuck. And okay, I'm like, well, I'll help you out, but and then she gets in my way with this not planning anything. I'm like, well, that's not intended. And no, I don't want to be part of you're trying to teach your girls how that she doesn't need a man so she can go marry one that's worthless. That's essentially what they do. And then they get a divorce and then they go on state aid. Like my neighbors. In fact, my neighbors have figured out now how to do that and stay together, but not officially be married so they can get my tax money to help them so they can buy really nice cars and live in expensive houses. Like, this is actually getting weird. Like, this is so far. And the women are getting tweaked and the men are getting stupid. And it's like, I don't want to be part of any of that. I'm like, you can go F yourself. You do this down here or I'm out of here. So that's my rant. Let's see. Watch when it starts that crap. It's like over 54. Tootie and Muldoon. Yeah. Lisa's 20-something women waves by me after a hot tub at the gym. She does not talk much. I'm old now and I don't want her to get the wrong idea, right? What's wrong idea? Give her plenty of wrong ideas. Or you could pull off the Sister Mary Elephant thing from Cheech and Chong's. Yes, yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Bravo says, gay men marriages are the most stable of them all. That's true. Black women with white men. Yes, yeah. Remember I put that up a while back? I actually showed one of those clips. That's true. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Because they get it. Right? This is, Bleach says, I have the Sister Mary Elephant in the garage somewhere. Class, shut up. Turn the speaker. Yeah, yep. I like to say that to Biden. Yeah. It's true. And it's gotten really bad. Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that, everybody's in that situation, but it's become such a sort of like an epidemic. It's just really totally gotten out of hand. It's like actually Liz said to me when she goes, I know what I'm doing is wrong. And she's not happy. And I'm going to wind up old and my kids are going to hate me and I'm going to be old and alone with cats. I said, that's right. I said, because what's left of your beauty is going to be gone. What's left of your desirability is going to be gone because your attitude is going to suck. Right? You're going to have a shit attitude. You're going to be a mess. And once a guy, you might have some attractiveness left, but your age will be gone. Your beauty will be gone. Your baby rearing years will be gone. And they won't want you once they see what your attitude is like because you'll frustrate them and they'll leave you. So yes, get some cats now, right? Start learning how to feed cats and take care of cats. And that's what happens. And I said that to my ex-wife. I was like, that's your direction because you should be alone because you can't be with other people anymore for any length of time because they frustrate you because you have these unrealistic expectations. The world has changed. We've been part of it. And this is how it is. So you can either accept it and move on, or you can keep beating your head against the wall and trying to expect it to change and be something different. And it's probably not going to happen. So why even be a part of it? He says, I'm glad I'm not at the age of shitting my pants. Bravo says, that's what I did. I got cats. By the way, Darren says hi to Charlie. That's funny. Cats and dogs. I like cats and dogs. I'm not saying you can't go out and have a good time and date a little bit. And of course, there's always the possibility that if you're not going to find anybody if you're not out there looking. But if you're going to be realistic about it, you go out and you just have a realistic idea of what you think might be. And when you step in something that is, tearing your head off or whatever, or something seems too fishy, just step back. Don't have to blame anybody or whatever. You just step away a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with cats. Ask Charlie and Minnie. Well, maybe not Minnie now. Crash is a better place. Yeah. Although cats I'm still allergic to, but if I had a bunch of cars on the property, like I really would like to have, like, semi-abandoned cars, I would definitely want cats because you got to have a way to keep the mice out. I mean, it'd be nice as well to keep them off of the machines in the back. But my neighbor, I think, has two essentially outdoor cats is really what they are. They're not feral or anything. They're just outdoor cats. And they do a pretty good job of cleanup. Although I had that mouse running around in here, so... but I think that might have been around the time the cat that they put down because it was really getting beat. It had a rough life. Definitely. So that might have been around that time. So, but it's nice to have one resident that can come in and clean up and do stuff and hang out with you for a little bit and then kind of goes back out. Those are the best. Darwin makes a cameo appearance pretty much in all my videos. Yeah, they're always around somewhere. That's kind of what I would want more, is like a shop cat. Apollo is not a shop dog. He never was. He doesn't, he's big, and the shop isn't all that big, and where he would tend to lay or sit was always in my way, so I think I would piss him off. Because you gotta walk over there, or put something down, and then, they don't like the grinding and the banging and the weird noises. What was I watching today? I was watching one of the fellas. It's I forget the guy's name. It's the friend of Diesel Creek. He was using this hydraulic puller ram to pull in a wheel start on his big semi, and as it was pulling in, it was making this weird howling sound, and the dog kept coming over because he could hear it. But the dog was, there's a lot of stresses on that, and if something were to break, you can't be in front of it. And the dog kept trying to put his face in front of it, and he had to keep shooing the dog, Cute dog, too. Yeah, it's nice having a cat around a shop because they're smaller and they tend to stay out of the way. Unless you have a big shop. If you're a really big shop with an outside, the dog can kind of come in and out. Unless, but the other side of that too is if it opens up to the street, you have that problem. Where with a dog, even Apollo, as good as he is, he in his youth, when he ran. You weren't getting him back. He would completely be mad at you, and how dare you tell me to come back? I will come back when I'm good and ready. He's like that anyway. That's his nature. Right? That's why I call him Mr. Dog a lot of times, because he's got this I'm Mr. Dog, like an attitude, especially when he was younger. Now, yesterday it was raining and thundering and lightning, and he was literally in the corner over here. He does not like that. When he was younger, he would literally be on my lap, with the booms and the thunders and everything. All right, it's 2:54. All right, car 54. All right, let's close it up. Charlie stays in the house. Minnie went out into the shop for a few iMessages when she got out. Yeah. You see, they can move more though. They do come back, and it's a little bit easier for them. All my dogs came back, but I just freaked out when they would run like that. RW says my dog's name is Roman for a reason. Yeah, they do that, and they do come back. Like I said, it just freaks me out. I don't like it. I don't know why. I just feel like they're too stupid to be out there. Traffic and everything. Cats seem to have a little bit more sensibilities when it comes to those things. Although they do get hit, but they have a little bit more sensibility when it comes to that stuff. The dog is like, I remember he'd go out there and he'd just be all over the place. And they run quick and they just take off. The three of them would go up the block on like a 50 degree day, and they would go into the swamp and play with the ducks and the geese, and they would stink. And I'd have to hook up the hose, freeze my ass off trying to get them clean enough so I could put them back into the house. Usually on a rainy day or a really damp, dank day, and they were like in the swamp. It's like we have the stream, the river, and the lake. And I don't know where exactly they were, but it was definitely way more stagnant and disgusting, and all the geese and the ducks are in it. So the crap in it and everything. And it just stunk to high heaven. Like, I can't let them in the house like that. They have to get washed. And they're freezing, and I'm freezing. And I had to do all 3 of them. All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks again for hanging out. I like hanging out with my friends on a Saturday night and chilling and chewing the fat. Like I said, I didn't prepare anything for tonight, but I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm looking forward to fooling around with the computer, fooling around with the snapper, and fooling around with the other things. So I'll see you guys. Well, as I like to say, if I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window.